Studios. This is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. Michigan sports aren't just a game, they're a way of life. And now we've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you. Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy.
Every weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
Remember that. Hello. Good morning, everybody, and welcome into the Ben Bosscher Show. I am Ben Bosscher, and apparently my train is not moving very fast. Kyle Sandel is behind the glass today.
What do you mean by that?
We're going to get to the Tuesday Tower here coming up. I'm going to go over the Detroit Lions with the most amount of pressure on them heading into this season. Veterans report to camp today. Practice starts tomorrow. We made it. Football's back. Football is back in our lives. Daily updates about what's going on in Allen Park, where your place for it. And then we got to talk about the Tigers, too. That's where we'll kick things off. Unless we should maybe just tackle this real quick, this message. Can someone please tell me what this means? Ben, bro, you are so close, but then you are so cold. Heat up a little bit more, bruh. You on the right track, but your train not pushing.
What could that mean?
I don't speak Kirby Joseph. I don't know. I don't really know what that means. That's the message that we got from Kirby Joseph this morning.
What do you mean by that?
Like, directly to us. I don't really know what that means, but we'll keep pushing our tracks, Kirby. Thanks.
No, like you're going, but your train isn't pushing.
And we on the right tracks.
Yeah,
but
you're
the
on
train,
exactly. You're parked on the train tracks, but it's not going.
Thank you for your kind words, Mr. Wait. He doesn't want to be called Kirby Joseph anymore, right?
Right. No longer wants to be referred to as Kirby. It is just Zoop or Zooper now. That's what we're calling him.
All right. Well, I don't know if Zooper is ever going to play football for the Lions again. Hopefully. I told you guys yesterday I'm optimistic that he plays week 1. Whether or not he's healthy all year, I don't know. But he just continues to have his fun on Twitter the last 24 hours. It's I don't think it's quite concerning, but the comments about Antonio Brown being a total normal person and everybody else is tripping was noteworthy, to say the least. There was a couple in there that you're for sure bookmarking like, oh, okay, I guess I'll just file this away for later.
Quoted a picture of Dan Campbell and Jared Goff and said, "See, they don't need me." Didn't love that one.
Yeah. So, whether or not his knee is okay, TBD.
And, yesterday when you
whether or
said
not his brain is okay, I don't know.
Yesterday you said, Kirby Joseph, I don't know if he's ever going to play football again, and I kind of scoffed at you. 24 hours later, I might be on your side with this one.
He did tweet out and ask if he could have a dragon. So there's that. He's hoping to drive a dragon to Lions training camp this week. So a lot of stuff going on with Kirby Joseph. Also, insisting he would have been a 99 overall in Madden
if his knee didn't go kapoop. That's exactly how he phrased it.
If my knee ain't go kapoop, I would have been a 99.
Who was that against?
You're probably right.
That was in the Kansas game?
The Kansas game. Speaking of Kansas, that's the team that the Tigers split with this weekend, and then they drop a game to the Baltimore Orioles yesterday, game number 1 of a series. So they're officially not the hottest team in the league anymore. I wouldn't even call them hot. They've lost 3 straight games, and they've lost 5 of their last 9 games. So right back to square one with 5 games left until the deadline. Look, I am typically someone who never roots for my team to lose. That is not the objective of a fan or a media member. You never want them to lose, even if it causes better stories, better reactions for our listeners. I never want these teams to lose. With that being said, the next 5 days, I think it is now acceptable because of what the Tigers have done to us to want them to lose the next 5 games. These, I'm deeming, are the only 5 games, now that they've officially lost 3 in a row and have already got off to an 0-1 start to this series against Baltimore, and there's 5 games left until the trade deadline. I am deeming these 5 games the only 5 games in the season in which it is appropriate and you should be rooting for this Tigers team to lose. You came to me about a month ago, Kyle, maybe more, and said, with every win, I get more nervous. And I said, it is far too early for that. It is far too early to want this team to lose because they did get hot, but then they got cold again. So now we're here with 5 games left. Because of the position that the Tigers have taken, we're just not going to do our jobs, and we're going to let these games play themselves out, and we'll see where we are on August 3rd. Okay, grow a pair of balls and do your job, first of all. Don't let each individual game dictate how you're going to make a decision on August 3rd. But if you're going to take that approach of basically opting out of doing your job and letting the results speak for themselves, well, then you've left me no choice but to root against you. You have left me zero choice. I told you guys yesterday, one thing I could guarantee about the Tarek Skubal trade deadline and this Tigers trade deadline in general is that this team can't be above 500 by the time the deadline rolls around. Guess what? After yesterday's loss, they can't even be 500. It is a guarantee that when the trade deadline rolls around on Monday, they will be a below 500 team, even if they win the rest of their games, which they probably won't. It has now become so clear after 3 straight losses, so clear that this team needs to sell Tarek Skubal. I would love to get on the phone with some people today, those who have been so adamant, pounding their fist to the table, telling us about keeping Tarek Skubal around and why the Tigers need to buy and they shouldn't give up this early. Brother, we are 7 games below 500. I say we like I'm on the team. Tigers are 7 games below 500 with 5 games left in the deadline. What world are you living in which they should be buyers and not move Tarek Skubal? And I already know what's going to happen. There's a group of people out there. They're going to trade Skubal. If they trade Skubal, I told you they'd miss the playoffs if they trade Skubal. We're going to be hearing this in September. I told you they trade Skubal. I told you they would have missed the playoffs. They're going to miss the playoffs regardless. They're 50-57. This is not a playoff team. James Outman is an automatic out. Kerry Carpenter has one of the worst F4s on the team. Zach McKinstry sucks. He can't run bases anymore, which was his number 1 attribute for the last 2 seasons. This team is not a World Series contending team, and there's nothing they can do at the deadline to make themselves one. So stop convincing yourselves. And now I'm getting worked up, and I'm not like trying to target anyone specifically. Don't try to convince yourself that this team
on the airwaves either.
Should do anything other than sell at this year's deadline. They need to get rid of Tarek Skubal. And I still have this overwhelming fear, this sense of frustration that this team is not going to end up doing that by the time Monday rolls around. But right now, more than any other point in the entire season, it is clearer than, well, I guess the sky's not very clear at all right now. It is clearer than anything you can possibly imagine that this team needs to trade Tarek Skubal before Monday rolls around. I would go as far as saying he shouldn't be pitching tomorrow for a day game against the Orioles. It's over. The season's done. There was some hope. They got hot. Then they cooled back down. And again, May was so bad that you don't have the option to cool down. Yet they've done that. 7 games below 500 with 5 games left until the deadline. You have to move Tarek Skubal. I know we've been banging this drum for a while, Kyle, but right now, today, on July 28th, it's as clear as it's ever been. They need to trade Tarek Skubal.
I've seen this take as well, and it's been thrown around on Twitter from some national people over the last couple days, like, the Tigers have now lost 3 games in a row, making it much easier for them to trade Tarek Skubal. And you mentioned it, these 5 games are super important for the Tigers' standpoint of whether or not they're going to trade Skubal or not. it shouldn't matter.
I
That's
know.
the take
I know.
that frustrates me the most is like, oh, now that they've lost 3 in a row, it's way easier to trade Tarek Skubal. They could win 5 in a row, and we have to understand the situation that they're in. It's what's best for the franchise. And I will say this, like, to your point of, oh, I'm rooting for them to lose this week, and I said this, like, you brought it up like a month or so ago. I wasn't rooting for them to lose, but every time they got on these little, 2-3 game win streaks, it just made me nervous. It was like, oh, this is great. In the back of my head, I'm like, ugh, I know where this is headed. If they keep winning games, it's going to turn into maybe they won't trade Tarek Skubal. Maybe they will push for the playoffs with him in the second half. And that's exactly where we are right now. It is a loser thing to do, to root against your team to lose. It just is.
100% with you.
And I'm not saying that you're in the right or wrong for doing so. It just is a loser thing to do.
They've left us no choice. The way that they've talked about it, the way that they've approached it, every report that's come out that they're going to wait until the very end and they want to see where they are at the end of this month, at the end of this week. They want to see what their record is by the time the deadline actually comes. They've left us no choice but to root against them then. That's not what I want to do.
No,
but that's what they're forcing us to do.
Exactly. And where I was going to say is, it's a loser thing to do, then I'm the biggest loser there is. The TV show. I won that. I'm the back-to-back season winner of The Biggest Loser.
That would be impressive if you went back-to-back because that would mean you gained all the weight back.
I regained it. Yeah, exactly.
And then you lost it again.
And then I turned it down and I came back. Yeah, exactly. So that's the situation that they're in. Like you said, if I'm a loser for rooting for them to lose, then I'm happy with that because that means there's a difference between, oh, man, what, you're going to root for your favorite team to lose games? That's messed up. You don't do that. You always root for them to win. And then realizing what's best for the team. And what's best for the future of this team. And we all know that is trading Skubal and getting some sort of return for him. And so if what it takes is them having a poor week this week when they already are 7 games below 500 anyways, it'd be different if they were like 1 game back at the wild card race.
Yeah, they're not.
I think it'd be pretty tough to sit here and be like, oh, they got to lose all these games this week. Oh, that would be kind of difficult.
4 games out with 4 teams to pass.
And they've been in this 3 to 6 games out race for 2 months. And look at all the stuff that they did in June and throughout July to build everything back. 3 games. You lose 3 games in a row, and just like that, you've
gone.
You've
vanished.
Exactly. That's how quickly it can fall when the race is this tight and there's this many teams involved. And
especially when you're losing head-to-head games versus teams ahead of you like Baltimore.
Exactly.
You already lost a game to them, man.
If that's what it takes for the fans, there's a difference between being a fan and wanting them to win and also realizing what is best for the franchise. And the true fans know that what's best for the franchise is trading Skubal and not getting caught up in the moment from them winning, being a decent team for a month and a half when the rest of the season has been terrible.
I think it's acceptable to want them to lose. I think it's the right thing that Tigers fans should do. I think the Tigers have forced us into this position. I don't want to be the guy that's rooting against this team. I refuse to do it with the Lions. I'll never do it. We've lost enough. I'll never, ever root for that team to lose. Don't care. Won't do it. I will.
How come, though?
We've lost enough. And there's only 17 games a year. I never want them to, the only exception would be if there's a number 1 pick on the line. But the difference between picking 16 and picking 19 makes no difference to me.
Okay.
I want them to win every game that they play.
And tanking in baseball is more important? Draft picks
would you
don't
call
really matter
this,
there. No, it's not a tank.
It's not tanking.
No,
it's
know.
making sure they make the right decision. At the end of the year with the Tigers, I could give a rat's you-know-what about what their record is if they suck. I don't care if they have the 3rd pick or the 5th pick, and there's a lottery system to it anyway. In the NBA, sure, the last 10 games of the season, if you really suck, you're probably trying to find ways to lose. But now, guess what? That's not even really the case, because if you have the worst record in the league...
And football's the only one that it matters in. So, if truly there is any sport you want your team to lose, it is football. But like you said, the Lions aren't in that position anyways.
Right. This is the only time of the year where I'm just deeming it fine. The Tigers have forced our hand.
And the issue is it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. That's the worst part about all of it.
I know, but if they're going to play these cards that are horrifically stupid, we want to see how each of these next 6 games go before we decide what if you're truly undecided on what you're going to do with Tarek Skubal and you are going to let the next 5 games determine what you're going to do, first of all, grow a pair of balls and do your job. That's what you're hired to do, Scott Harris. You're hired to make decisions based on what you think this team's future is going to be. It shouldn't be determined by X's and O's and what this team does in the win-loss column over the next 5 days. That's ridiculous. And second of all, it's also like the stance that they've taken, if they are to keep losing this week, which I'm rooting for, it forces them, based on their own word, to live up to trading Tarek Skubal. Now there's zero excuse to not do it, because if you keep losing and you're, let's say, 7 games below 500 on Monday, you have zero excuses on why Tarek Skubal shouldn't be on another team. And if he's still on your team Monday at 6 p.m., then Scott Harris, you have failed miserably. Fire him before the day is over if he's still on the team and the Tigers are 7 games below 500. That's horse crap. If they've taken this stance that they're going to let every game dictate their decision on Tarek Skubal, then they continue to lose games and they still don't trade him, then everyone in that front office is a liar, has no pair of balls underneath their legs, and shouldn't be employed by the team anymore.
Going to let some Tuesday night game on July the 28th against Dean Creamer decide the biggest fate of your future.
Do your job. Do your job, Scott Harris. 989-837-6125. Are you rooting for the Tigers to lose the rest of the week? I'm giving you the out. You're allowed to do it because this team has forced us to with the stance that they've taken. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. The show, as always, is brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair, the experts who do the job right the first time, whether you have a leaky roof, a storm damage, or the siding is looking a little tired. Bresky has you covered. Locally owned, trusted, and dedicated to keeping Midland area homes safe and looking sharp. Quality materials, skilled craftsmanship, and service that puts your family first. Don't wait for the next storm. Call Bresky Siding and Building Repair today and keep your home strong for years to come. The 9 o'clock hour of this show is brought to you by Iron Stack Technology. You know, we talk about the game plan all the time on this show, the execution of it. That's how Iron Stack approaches IT. They help businesses stay secure, efficient, and ready for what's next so you can focus on your mission instead of your technology. Iron Stack Technology, solution-driven, mission-focused. You can check them out online at ironstacktechnology.com.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt. by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Myth.
(989-837-6125). Look, I think it's acceptable this week for you to root against the Tigers. And it's no fault of anybody's other than the front office and the stance that they've taken and just the stance that they've taken when it comes to this year's deadline, that they're going to wait and see what happens over the next 6 days. What's the best case scenario for the fan base out there that wants to hold on to this season and this awful, 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 awful lineup when it comes to the defense, the outfield, the bottom half of the lineup? Outside of three guys, you're not getting much from Vierling, negative player. McKinstry, negative player.
Yeah, that outfield trio of those two guys plus James Outman doesn't scream playoff team to you.
Kerry Carpenter's been a negative asset on the team this year. Like, that's a guy I wouldn't mind being traded at the deadline as well, even though he's on IL.
Another injury for Kerry Carpenter when he goes through a slump. Seems like a repeated process of his career.
Go on a slump. It's like the high school guy who makes a bad play.
Yeah.
He's like,
I traveled and turned it over. Oh, my leg. Oh, that hurt
I got burned
bad.
deep on the outside on
Paul
a go
Pierce.
route.
I take you off in a wheelchair.
Yeah, I'm good on Kerry Carpenter. Just like straight up, thank you for all the amazing moments that you've given us. He's not an everyday player. He gets really hot and cold. He's had very minimal success in his entire career versus left-handed pitching. I'm good. Or versus right-handed pitching. I'm good. That's a guy I wouldn't mind them moving off of. Spencer Torkelson, a guy I really would not mind never seeing another at-bat of his in an English D. It's gotten to the point where the best-case scenarios, they're still below 500 at this year's deadline if they were to keep winning. And then they keep Tarek Skubal, and their playoff odds are still about 1-5. Odds are they're not making the playoffs, with or without Tarek Skubal. If that's the case, why not move on from him and capitalize on as much talent as you possibly can? Some conflicting reports about what the Dodgers plan on doing at this year's deadline.
Kind of figured that would be the case at this point. Yeah.
Yeah.
They operate as a good franchise, so you never really know what they're going to do because, they actually are run smartly.
Yeah. You know what the Dodgers would never do? We're going to let the next 6 games determine our future and whether or not we want to be buyers or sellers at this year's deadline.
Yeah. If our bullpen has a good week, then we're not going to trade for anyone. Like, how stupid does that sound?
It's such a crazy approach.
Oh, if they're good for this week, then we're going to let the next 2 months of our team be determined by it. Like, what?
It's bananas.
And now for the Tigers, it's the flip side. Oh, we're going to let the next 5 years of our franchise be determined by how these next 5 games go. Like, what a dumb thing to think.
The only sport in which you can say, like, oh, these 5 games are going to determine what we do at the trade deadline would be football. But there's only 17 football games in an entire season. When it comes to baseball, 162 games, how on earth are you going to tell your fan base, yeah, these next 6 games will determine what we're going to do?
And then on top of it, add the fact that you are trading the best pitcher that's going to get traded at a deadline since he's better than
Verlander.
Scherzer when he got traded at the deadline. Yeah,
Verlander.
like I would argue he's better than Verlander at the time of being traded.
Yeah, back-to-back Cy Youngs. Yeah, I would agree.
Like, truly, when is the last time a pitcher of this caliber has the opportunity to be dealt at the trade deadline? Like, it's crazy to put 5 games against the Baltimore Orioles on the line here for this. It makes no sense.
It makes no sense. And what I think people are failing to realize is most of this team is just full of garbage players. There are a handful of players who have gotten hot. Hao Lee, shout out him. He's been playing well. Eduardo Valencia, back on the team now since Kerry Carpenter's on the IL. Shout out him. But the everyday guys on this team have just not been great. Zach McKinstry, Matt Vierling, negative WARs.
Not been great is kind.
Jahmai Jones isn't on the team, but Kerry Carpenter is a negative 0.6 WAR, by the way. Awful. Matt Vierling, negative 0.5 WAR, by the way. Gage Workman has played in 38 games this season for the Tigers and somehow has a negative 0.4 WAR. That is impressively bad. Wenzel Perez not on the team. Kyle Finnegan, negative 0.3 WAR. James Outman, 94 plate appearances, somehow has a negative WAR. All of these guys, every one of them. And by the way, do you know I saw this stat last night too. It blew my mind. You know this team has more blown saves than saves this year?
Seriously?
More often.
No way.
24 blown saves.
They have 24 blown saves?
21 saves.
That's crazy.
That is
playoff
one
team,
of the
though.
most impressive things I've ever seen.
Bye, though.
Yeah,
All you got to do is add a couple
deadline.
of guys in the bullpen, and you'll be better. A couple of people agreeing with you in the YouTube chat, by the way, with just your stance that, hey, I'm rooting for the Tigers to lose this week. Night Owl says, I'm the same way. Tigers need to sell Skubal. And then he also adds in, we need Max Clark and Max Anderson to get the call up soon after the deadline. In my opinion, Anderson is the best bat that we have in the farm system currently. Yeah, I mean, he's been the best player as far as like stats go in the farm system for the Tigers this season. Max Anderson, that is. Seems more likely he'll get the call up than Max Clark if you had to pick one or the other, like right now.
When was the last time we had a great goggles player? Because Max Clark wears the goggles, doesn't he?
Max Anderson?
Or Max Anderson, yeah. He wears the
Does
goggles.
he? I guess I have seen pictures of him in them. Ooh, that's a good question.
There used to be a catcher a couple years back in like the really dark era who wore some goggles, wasn't it? Wasn't there? I've like blocked out a good 4 years of Detroit Tigers baseball from my brain. Like 2018 to 2022 is just completely wiped from my memory.
Yeah, it adds to the fact that if you do throw in a guy like, because I think if you're trading Torkelson or Carpenter at the deadline as well, they're like an add-in piece to a bigger deal.
Correct.
It's like, oh, you're getting Casey Mize and Spencer Torkelson. You're getting Tarek Skubal and Kerry Carpenter. This happens a lot with these bigger trades.
Yeah, it's like, will you please take this man off my hands?
The issue is the Tigers don't really have a guy to play first base every day.
Cole Keith.
Every day, though? Now, you'd have
but you're
that might
basically
play
giving
there.
up on this season anyway if you trade Skubal.
But then you can call up Max Clark, and it's like, hey, Colt Keith, Max Anderson. Colt Keith, you can move to first base permanently because we'll have Anderson, Hao-Yu Lee as a mixture to play third, So
yeah.
that would make things a lot easier there. A couple other YouTube chats. Ryan chiming in. If they don't trade him, what's worse, the Tigers not trading Skubal or the Angels not trading Ohtani because it's literally the exact same thing? I think the Tigers one is worse because you actually can trade Skubal. The Angels got to a point where they couldn't trade Ohtani.
Because they knew he
at
was
the
leaving.
deadline. At the deadline, well, not even that. At the deadline, it's like no team is trading for that guy because they're just going to wait 4 more months. Oh, like adding him for another year would be great, but like we can just sign him in the offseason.
Also, there was nothing like you just lose. You lose the trade if you have to give up the prospects.
Yeah,
for Shohei, like you have to sell.
They should have sold him, and they messed up by not trading him way earlier. They should have traded him the year before or wait until the deadline. They couldn't have traded him there. Whereas the Tigers, they can trade Skubal, and they can still get a pretty good return because it seems like there's going to be teams competing for it. Luke also chimes in and says, I'm definitely not rooting against them, but at this point, I don't think I'm rooting for them either. Whatever happens, I guess. Too many hypotheticals with this team and not even fact-based evidence that they're actually playoff contenders.
There's zero fact-based evidence that they're playoff contenders other than like a 40-game stretch in which they were great. I'm taking a look at the messages. Artie says, I never root for them to lose, but while they can focus on the present, management has to keep an eye on the future as well. Yeah, and the present is they're not a good baseball team, and they've lost 3 straight games in 5 of their last 9. They're not hot anymore, guys. And this was always the case. They had to stay hot the rest of the year. It was never going to be hey, let's heat up and make up for what we did in May. No, you had to stay hot the rest of the year. And they got cold again. And now they're right back to where they were about 30 days ago. Alan says, trade Skubal, Torres, Torkelson, Baez, Valdez, and Jansen. Your building blocks are Green, McGonigal, and Dingler for bats, and then Melton, Job, and Mize for pitchers. Everyone else is tradable, so make it happen. We're going to talk about what bats are available to be traded shortly. I don't think they would move Framber Valdez, though. I also don't know why they would. If that's the ultimate sell low if you're moving on from Framber Valdez, right? You don't want to trade him when his value's at an all-time low. So I wouldn't be doing that. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. Like I said, the show is brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. But if you're looking for financial advice that actually makes sense, you got to meet Doug Cellini of Kingsview Partners right here in Midland. Former teacher and coach, Doug breaks down all the complicated stuff and makes it understandable for people like you and I. He helps families, professionals build clear game plans for their money so you can move forward with confidence and not confusion. That's Doug Cellini of Kingsview Partners right here in Midland. If you are looking for something to do that's fun here in the Great Lakes Bay region, you got to check out gogreatlakesbay.org. I'm sure they've got a bunch of stuff about the Loons coming this week in town. Got a lot of fun stuff, including country music night. We've got a Copa night. We've got the Dogmen on Saturday. Really excited about that. Plus, River Days is going on downtown Midland. It's going to be a really exciting week here at the ballpark and downtown Midland in general. But like I said, gogreatlakesbay.org is your stop for live music, outdoor adventure, great food, family-friendly events. That's gogreatlakesbay.org. Whether it's a weekend plan or a last-minute idea, get out, explore local, and go Great Lakes.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, Kyle. Step up to the plate. It's your time to shine. Take it away with the news.
The Mits Morning Catch.
All right, back in the news. Let's take a look at the community calendar presented by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. The Loons are back in town this week, starting tonight. 6-game series with the Fort Wayne Tin Caps. Ben kind of mentioned at the end of the last segment, but a lot of fun theme nights going on this week. It's a 2 for Tuesday tonight, though, to kick off this series, but you got Dogman night this weekend, country music night, Paw Patrol. What was Friday night again? Copa night. Yeah, I knew I was missing one of them. Yeah, so a lot of stuff going on in the news, or at least for the Loons this week. So make sure to come on to the ballpark. 7:05 first pitch all week, and then Sunday is a 1:05 first pitch for Paw Patrol.
What do we got this week?
Night. Fort Wayne. The Tin Caps.
Who's affiliated with
the San Diego Padres.
They're not in the Scooble sweepstakes.
Typically a pretty fun team to go against at
Deadline
this time
week.
of the year. The deadline happened last year, actually. The Loons were in Fort Wayne the week of the deadline, and literally the Tin Caps' entire roster got traded because that was when the Padres traded everybody to go get Mason Miller from the Athletics, and they might be trading away Mason Miller now because the Padres are poor this year, which is kind of crazy if they do that. So there will be a bigger name than Mason Miller traded at deadline, hopefully this year, a.k.a. Tarek Skubal. Tigers-Orioles Game 2 tonight is at 6:40. Troy Melton on the mound versus, as I mentioned, Dean Creamer pitching for the Orioles, another righty on the mound. We're going to talk Lions today because the Lions report to camp today, the veterans, that is. Rookies reported to camp earlier this week, or this weekend. Veterans report today, and then first practice is tomorrow, correct? So, yeah, it's go time. Football's here.
I can't wait, man. I've got the football fever. I've got the itch. I'm thinking of different topics. I'm doing my homework on, not just the Lions, but every NFL team right now. I'm so excited. It makes me so happy knowing that all the Lions players are showing up to Allen Park today. It's like we're all back together. And I think back together day one or whatever the NFL network is where they bounce around from like coverage from, I think that's Sunday or Monday. So
wow.
We're back in a lot of ways.
Is Kirby Joseph going to be there?
I would think so. I think we're getting fined territory if you're not showing up.
I think he's going to be there, but he was on TikTok Live pretty late last night, though. I mean, it's
not like he's going to be working out. He's got his money. It's not like he's holding out for any reason.
No. It's just, I don't know. It's just funny. Let's also look at the Covenant Healthcare Orthopedics and Sports Medicine injury report. You mentioned it earlier, but just to reiterate, Kerry Carpenter placed on the injured list. Eduardo Valencia is back. 10-day injured list for Kerry Carpenter. Obviously, the trade deadline is this upcoming Monday, but I don't think this was anything that... I mean, this felt like he's in a slump right now, and he kind of has an injury. Let's put him on the injured list and give him a break so he can take some time to figure this out.
What did they rule it as? Is it his spaghetti hamstring, or is it something else?
Honestly, don't know, though.
Let me check. Because I'm kind of with you that this is maybe just a made-up... I mean,
injury, heel injury.
Okay. He's looked totally lost at the plate for the better part of the last 3 weeks. Just like it's looking like the worst version of Riley Green from last year every at bat, where it's just like, bro, what are you even seeing? You're just swinging at anything.
Yeah.
You're predetermined. You know what it looks like? Every Parker Meadows at bat ever. That's what it looks like.
I mean, Parker Meadows wasn't that bad at the start of this year.
He played in like 12 games.
Yeah, but like he wasn't that bad in those games, right?
You're right. He wasn't. Unnecessary shot at Parker Meadows. I apologize.
Yep. NFL news. Bucs defensive tackle and been one of the better in the NFL for quite some time. Vita Vea has officially requested a trade, looking for a new extension from Tampa Bay. I believe he becomes a free agent after this season. But Vita Vea, who's played for Tampa his entire career, officially wants out. What do we think? Lions, maybe?
Here's the thing. I think Vita Vea, despite the stats not really reflecting anything spectacular, has made a name for himself as one of the best run-stuffing defensive tackles that we've ever seen, really. He eats space. He makes life easier for his linebackers because he draws so many double teams. He's only been named to a Pro Bowl team twice, but he is so good at what he does specifically. The Lions don't have any true nose tackle that's like a space eater, takes up double teams, just holds his own ground, not necessarily like pushing the offensive line back, but just for sure not getting pushed back on his own. They lost out on DJ Reader. I don't think they wanted him back. They lost Roy Lopez to the Cardinals in free agency. Those were their two true nose tackles to line up over the center and eat up space. They don't really have anybody like that on their team right now because Ali McNeil is more of a three-tech. Like, he's not a true nose tackle. Tyleik Williams was in college, but he's lost 50 pounds, so I think he's going to be a little bit more of a put your nose down and try to get after the quarterback type of guy. So they've got some interior pass rush. They lack a true nose tackle. It's a good fit for the Lions. However, I don't think the Lions have the money to give him a contract extension.
The CBS Sports put out 3 teams that they just immediately think would be good fits to trade for Vita Vea outside of him just returning to Tampa. The Las Vegas Raiders is one of them. The New York Football Giants as another, which is interesting because didn't they sign DJ Reader?
Yes.
And then obviously they lost Dexter Lawrence, so that's probably the main part of that. And here's the one that would just be terrible. The LA Rams are on here. Saying that if Aaron Donald doesn't come back, which I think he is going to come back. We had a weird update on that this weekend that went a little bit under the radar that, hey, it sounds like he actually is going to come back. If he doesn't, they go get Vita Vea, which I would rather that happen than Aaron Donald come back, honestly, because they would have to give up assets to get Vita Vea, whereas Aaron Donald coming back would just be, he's just back for free. So we'll see. Gary says Scooble for Vita Vea straight up.
Sure.
No.
Why not?
That doesn't help the Tigers.
Helps the Lions.
But what would be better, actually? Is it worth it, I guess? No, it's not. I don't know. We'll find out more about the Vita Vea stuff as well. We'll do one more thing in the news, save the rest for later. ESPN put out their top 50 acquisitions of the NFL offseason, including draft picks. Ben, do you think the Lions had one on here? As far as top 50
acquisitions of the offseason?
Including draft picks. So just any addition to a team. Do you think the Lions had any on here? 50 players.
I would guess Cade Mays is on there.
He's not. But Blake Miller is.
Yeah.
Blake Miller, number 42.
Every first-round pick just get to be on this?
No,
then?
because the Fernando Mendoza pick, first overall, is 48th on this list. I don't really get that. Alex Anzalone, David Montgomery also make it. No, do you want to guess? I mean, it's pretty obvious.
The most impactful move of the off, Myles Garrett.
What's
Myles
Garrett? A.J. Brown. Rams also third with Trent McDuffie. The top draft pick, though, is not like the first pick, like I said. It's Caleb Downs to the Cowboys.
Oh.
As the top draftee acquisition. It's number 7 as well, so pretty high. I figured Kyler Murray, who's 6 to the Vikings, would be higher. I mean, 6 is pretty high, I guess, but like it's quarterback. He's a new starting quarterback. That's a pretty big deal. So, yeah.
Where's like Trey Hendrickson getting moved to Baltimore?
He's pretty high up here. He's 5th.
Are there head coaches moving?
No, all players. Which there isn't. Like Jared Verse being down at 16 seems kind of low, but I guess Malik Willis is 22nd. Ugh, kind of gross. Isaiah Likely 28th to the Giants. Okay. What are we doing here? That's all I got for the news.
All right, there's the news. We'll go over the bats that the Tigers should trade here at the deadline when we come back here on the Ben Bosscher Show live on 100.9 The Mitt. Hey, if you're looking for a new car, I can tell you from firsthand experience, Garber Chevrolet in Midland makes it easy. Bought my car there last summer. The whole process was smooth, no stress. It's very straightforward, whether it's a new whip or a quality used vehicle. The team knows their stuff and knows how to treat you right. Garber Chevrolet, a place you can actually trust to purchase your ride.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, welcome back in. Obviously, we've been talking Scooble. We've been talking the Tigers, deadline in general. I do think there are a handful of bats that are totally on the table for being traded as well. Gleyber Torres has become the most obvious one because he's an expiring contract. But here's the thing. Like, I told our audience for a long time, Kyle, that just because you trade away Scooble doesn't mean the season is over. You can still push for this thing. I have always believed that, but now they are 7 games below 500. Here's where I can somewhat agree with, well, let's see how the next couple games go before you decide whether or not you want to strip this thing totally down and throw a towel in on the season, or whether or not you want to, keep a couple pieces around and still try to gun for it the rest of the way. I don't have a problem as long as they trade Scooble in doing that, but I think 7 games below 500, I am very much on board with trading Gleyber Torres away, trading pretty much everybody away and tearing this thing down. If they were to not have lost 3 games in a row, okay, here's where I can somewhat understand a Scott Harris approach of we want to see where we are. Because if this team was 3 games under rather than 7 games under, I would kind of be in the boat of like, okay, let's keep Gleyber around. Let's keep the bats around. Let's not trade Casey Mize, and let's try a little bit to go still make a playoff push. I think 7 games below 500. I don't really care who gets traded at this point.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's the untouchables of Dingler, McGonigal, Green, Melton, Montero, Job. Other than that,
Of course.
I don't really care.
But I do think that because there was actually a pretty heavy conversation last night on X, the Everything app, it has everything, about this. And it was just the conversation of like, who even really is a part of this Tigers lineup next year? Like guaranteed for sure spots. And it's just 3 guys. It's just Dingler, McGonigal, and Green. Everyone else, you can make the case of like, I don't really know. Even a Colt Keith, like not saying that they're going to trade him, but it's just from the fact of, is he for sure a part of the Tigers lineup like for the rest of time? So
they won't trade Hao Yu Lee or Colt Keith. Like those are 2 guys.
Not saying
that
they're
going to
get traded, but it's just, are they like for sure pieces of the future of the Tigers as soon as next season? And I think the fact that conversation is even being had and that there is only 3 locked up guys should be enough to say, hey, there's no point in even trying to make this push for the second half. It's the conversation that Brad and I had last week while you were gone, that they have a real opportunity to like control this deadline entirely. You have Scooble, who is going to be the best pitcher moved. You have Casey Mize, who potentially not only could be the best right-hander moved, but could be the second best pitcher traded. You could have the 2 best arms at the deadline in control. Gleyber Torres, outside of Luis Arraez of the San Francisco Giants, who it seems like a lock to get traded, there's not a lot of position players at this deadline that could be moved. All of them are hypotheticals. The Francisco Lindors, the Zach Nettos. These guys aren't getting traded. So Gleyber Torres could be one of the better right-handed bats moved at the deadline. Like, the Tigers can really spin this thing in a positive way. So you might as well add some other names into that mix, like you said with Torres, but also with Carpenter. Why not? A team could take a swing on him. Spencer Torkelson, screw it. Throw him into a deal. Like, there's no point in hanging on to all these guys anymore.
It's like when you're in your dynasty league and you know you're not making the playoffs, so you sell everyone and commit to having the worst team, and then you own half the draft picks for the next couple of years.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. And you can actually go get some guys. And you don't just want to trade them away just for the hell of it.
No, you
want to have a
players
plan.
you like in return.
Exactly. You want to
players
get guys
who could be pillars to the lineup and be future parts of this core other than the only 3 guys that we can name that we know are a part of the lineup next year.
And specific spots, too. Like, you don't just want to trade Gleyber Torres for some 18-year-old international prospect that nobody knows anything about that's going to be 5 years, 6 years down the line. Like, you want it to be for a first baseman of the future. Boom. That's what the Tigers need. We need a right fielder of the future. Boom. That's what they need. Like, it has to be something specific. It can't just be random. If it is random, then hang on to them. But they have a great opportunity to do a full-fledged fire sale. And I hope that that's what happens. But honestly, if it's just Scooble, I'll be fine at this point.
And guess what? It sounds sad. It's like, we're rebuilding. We're tearing this thing down to the studs. Not exactly, because those 3 pillars of the lineup are pretty dang good. Riley Green, McGonigal, and Dingler, that's a pretty good starting point for any core.
oh, you trade Casey Mize, Gleyber Torres, and Tarek Skubal, you're still a top half team in payroll in baseball. Like, it's not like you're fully tearing this thing down.
Mm-mm. No, you have a strong foundation both offensively and
you can really
your
add
arms
to
in
it.
the pen, and you can add to it on Monday. So yeah, I'm rooting for them to lose the rest of the week. Unfortunately, they have forced us to feel that way. They have forced us to root against them because they have determined that they are going to wait and see how this thing plays out. Okay, if that's the case, and you're not going to grow a pair of balls, and you're going to be this way about it, where you're not doing your job, and you're going to see what happens in the win-loss column, then I hope you lose. You don't deserve to win games if this is going to be your approach. Do your job. Field calls. Shop Tarek Skubal. Don't just cop your way out of every single tough decision. Oh, we don't know. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know. We want to see if we win or lose. No, go do your freaking job, Scott Harris. It's unbelievable. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live in the Mint. Let's spin it positive. Lions. Oh, my God. They're back today. Practice tomorrow. Tuesday Tower with the Lions when we come back.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9.
Midland.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mid, 10 o'clock hour, brought to you by Aired Insurance. All right, Kyle, it's time for the Tuesday Tower, Detroit Lions rendition of it this week. Because training camp, it kicks off, technically practice is tomorrow, but I think, like, it technically kicks off today. Veterans are reporting. The rookies have already been there. What an exciting time to be alive. A season in which there is a lot of pressure. Pressure on a handful of different people. Pressure on the Lions as a whole to get back to the postseason and give themselves a shot at a Super Bowl, something that we all are striving for. That's on the table this season. Anything short of winning multiple playoff games, I think, would be a disappointment. So for that reason, there's pressure on everybody. But there's 10 individuals in which there is more pressure on than your average Detroit Lion. So today's Tuesday Tower is the Detroit Lions under the most pressure for the 2026 season. Starting at the very top of the tower, one man, and his name is Dan. Dan Campbell, I think, is under the most pressure of anybody a part of the Detroit Lions this season. For one reason. They cannot have back-to-back failing seasons. Back-to-back failing seasons, there's only one person to really point to, and that's usually the coach. You have an excellent offense ready to hit the ground running. Top five offense 4 years in a row. I don't think that that's going to change. We'll get to Drew Petzing here in a minute, but you've got a defense that, yeah, there's some question marks for sure. None of it really matters because if the Lions don't make the playoffs for a second consecutive season, it's just overall a complete failure. And then you end up going back to the head coach more often than not, especially when you have the talent and the blue chip players that the Detroit Lions do. Anything short of the playoffs would be such a major disaster for the Lions, and I think the number one person that you would point to if that was the case is Dan Campbell. So for that reason, I do think he's under more pressure than anybody this season to get the Lions back into the postseason. And if he is to do that, he's off the pressure list. Like we're back to thinking Dan Campbell's going to be here for a decade, going to be a Mike Tomlin type of character. Culture's always going to be great. No chance they'll ever move off of him. It's if they go miss the playoffs back-to-back years when you have Super Bowl aspirations both of those years where there could be some turmoil that starts to build up. So do you agree with this, that Dan Campbell has the most pressure on him heading into the season?
I kind of think so. I think so from the perspective that if the Lions disappoint, yes, the fingers will be pointed at Dan Campbell. I'll get to some others who I think might have a case for top once you talk about the rest of them.
Okay, the next tier, again, one person at the top, two on the second row, three on the third, four on the fourth.
Oh, it's
top
like it's
10.
a pyramid.
Yeah, pyramid. The second row, the giant cap hits. Ali McNeil, who I was pretty shocked I didn't put at the very top of this list. But Ali McNeil is making $28 million this year. It's closer to 29. That's a pretty heavy cap hit. It's the third highest on the team, only behind their superstar receiver, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and their quarterback, Jared Goff. The next highest paid player on the team is Ali McNeil at $28.9 million. That is a massive cap hit. And they paid Ali McNeil thinking that he was going to continue to develop in a linear path, which he had up until the point in which he got hurt, which was the same year that they gave him a contract extension. They gave him the contract extension. He misses the second half of the season or the last few games of the season, misses half of the following year, and then last year coming off the worst career year of his, least productive year of his career since his rookie season. And yeah, part of that's because he missed half of it, but part of it's also because when he did play, he was god-awful. He was outside of the top 100 defensive tackles when it came to run-stuffing ability, run-stuffing grade. Okay, if you're not doing that, then you're a liability to be out there. Let's forget about the pass rush juice that lacked from Ali McNeil last year. If you can't stop the run, that's major problem number one. But the fact that he wasn't doing both, I mean, it's not far-fetched. And it's not even honestly like untruthful to say he was a negative player last year. When he was out there, it hurt the Lions. That can't happen again, obviously, especially when you're making $28 million. And to be quite frank, the only way that like that contract is truly justified is if he has the best year of his career. He has to. And he was pacing to do so in 2024. Then he tears his ACL. He has to be that or better for this contract to even sniff playing up to it. So Ali McNeil's in this tier. And then for all those basically same reasons, DJ Reed's on this list as well for just a lesser degree. While Ali McNeil has the third highest cap hit on the team. DJ Reed has the fifth highest cap hit on the team, significantly less money, though, $17.8 million. So not nothing. Pretty disappointing year one, dealing with a hamstring injury for the most part of the season. Looked like a totally different guy by the time he came back from that. Just openly was not feeling 100%. And also, once Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph were both hurt, the safeties they were playing over the top did DJ Reed no favors, nor did the scheme they were running do DJ Reed any favors, because the safeties had to play so high over top, and they didn't want to let anything deep. He's got to be better, though, and especially when there's so much uncertainty in the secondary, this is someone that, especially early on, needs to be a veteran that stabilizes the room to some degree, because if he's not steady, they're going to have some major problems in the secondary if they don't already. So my second tier is DJ Reed and Ali McNeil.
I think just from a production on the field standpoint, taking all the contracts and everything else out of it, DJ Reed is number one. With the Terrion Arnold situation this offseason, with Kirby Joseph, whatever, and Brian Branch injury, like the secondary right now for the Lions is once again the biggest issue going into the season, but that's been their problem at the end of the year every season. And now it's a problem at the beginning of the year. If DJ Reed isn't like a top 10 corner in football, the Lions have no shot at being even a competent secondary to start the season. So, yeah, I think just from an on-the-field production standpoint, he has to be a stud. And it's a lot to put on him. It's almost unfair pressure, but he has earned it with the contract they gave him.
Yeah. I mean, once a year, the Lions go out and spend on an external free agent to come fill in and be a starter right away. And last year it was DJ Reed, and I wouldn't say he lived up to that contract at all. So if you're going to do that for a second consecutive year, it feels like another bad contract that Brad Holmes has given out. The Ali McNeil contract right now feels like a bad contract that Brad Holmes has given out. Both of those players are in major prove-it territory with the contracts that they were given. Because let's not also forget, the Lions were stout against the run every year under Aaron Glenn. Last year, they were not. And a big part of that was because when Ali McNeil came back, he stunk. $28 million a year. So that is the second tier of the pyramid. Third tier, the guys who must deliver. They have to. Or else maybe the Lions season isn't going to go as well as we thought.
No, they just have to, or else. You don't want to find out.
Blake Miller I have on here. The only rookie on the list. Tyleik Williams. Hey, man. We need a first-round pick to get better. You know, anytime you're a first-round pick who sees limited playing time in year one, there's going to be some pressure on you to start showing some flashes on why you were taken in the first round in year two. And I do have optimism in Tyleik Williams. We mentioned it earlier. He slimmed down, apparently lost 50 pounds over the course of the offseason. I think that'll help his pass rush juice a little bit, but we need a little bit more from him, you know? It's nothing against his rookie season. I thought it was fine. Showed some flashes. They need some more. And then Derek Barnes. The Lions don't replace Alex Anzalone in free agency at all. They're just letting Derek Barnes absorb all of those snaps. He's projecting to be an everyday player now, or an every snap player. He'll be on the field as a will linebacker. When they have 3 linebacker sets, he'll be on the field as a Sam linebacker. And another guy that Brad Holmes has given a contract to, he's set to make $9.7 million this season, which is in the top 12 of highest paid guys on the team this year. So I have those 3 guys as my next tier.
So when you say must deliver or else the Lions season blank, like what is the or else for if Tyleik Williams doesn't deliver?
Like, oh, wow, maybe the Lions' run defense is just not getting back to what it used to, and this is just going to be a problem on the team the rest of the year.
I guess when I think of if this person doesn't deliver, X happens, it is just much worse if Blake Miller doesn't deliver than the other 2 guys, right? If Blake Miller is whatever the Lions had opposite of Penei Sewell last year, a corpse of Taylor Decker, a mixture of your boy Giovanni Manu and whatever else was playing there, if he doesn't deliver and he is that again, the Lions are this whole top 5 offense thing, you can kiss it goodbye. You can throw it out the window. So if he doesn't deliver, I think that is worst case scenario. The other 2 guys, yeah, it's not going to be great, but it doesn't hold as much weight as the rookie does with Blake Miller, which once again feels like a lot to put on a rookie compared to the other 2 guys. But like if Tyleik Williams doesn't deliver, okay, The Lions are they going to be a great run defense if Williams has a good year?
I just think it'd be a major problem if 2 years in a row
the first round pick does not turn out.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I'm totally with you that there's way more pressure on Blake Miller than either of these other two guys. But like at some point, I think anytime you're a first round pick and you like have limited playing time year one, like there is pressure on you to just be better the next year. Maybe he should be on the tier lower.
But also, I guess I don't know. It's just the way that the pyramid is built. It feels like Miller should be in the tier with the other two guys, but it's not how the pyramid works.
Exactly. The final tier is called Health, Contracts, and a Setup to Succeed Coach. And this is Sam Laporta and Brian Branch, both of which are coming off of a pretty major injury. In Sam Laporta's case, it's a back, but he's supposed to be healthy for training camp. Brian Branch, not so much with the torn Achilles. Both looking for contracts. Like, maybe not as much from you got to prove to the Lions fans that you're worth it. It's more so like you kind of have to go prove to the team that you're healthy and are worthy of a contract extension. There's nothing like, we don't know if these guys are good. Obviously, they're good, but now they have to reprove that they're good post-injury. So that's why those two guys are on the list. Gibbs, hear me out. Gibbs has nothing else to prove to us in terms of his talent. This is a very rare type of pressure. And it's a pressure that's so rare, it's almost a privilege to have. There's an expectation, not just for him to be phenomenal this year, but there are many people, myself included, that are projecting him to have an all-time season, that think he can become the best running back in the NFL this year. That type of pressure is a privilege to have, and I think Jahmyr Gibbs has that privilege heading into this season to where if he's not the best running back in the NFL this year, it's somewhat of a disappointment. Now, if he's the second best running back in the NFL by all the numbers, Bijan beats him out, like, it's not a crazy disappointment. You know what I mean? But, like, it's still a little bit. Like, we expect him to go take that crown as the best running back in the NFL.
Like, he has earned, the pressure makes diamonds, they say. You know, like, he has earned this stance of, you're a great player. We're not saying that your position is on the line.
No.
But we expect greatness from you.
Yeah,
and if
like
we don't get it,
greatness.
then that is a bit disappointing, sure.
And
obviously David Montgomery's out the picture. Like,
correct.
This is first year supposed to be, even Dan Campbell has already said it, first year workhorse truly for Jahmyr Gibbs. Yeah. That creates a ton of expectation, and when there's a ton of expectation, that means there just automatically is pressure.
Yeah, like I don't have Amon-Ra on this list because we know what Amon-Ra is. We don't think he's an all-time great.
Yeah, just stop dropping catches. That'd be nice.
Stop dropping catches. We know he's like one of the best players in the league, but I don't think he's like projecting to be one of the greatest wide receivers of all time.
Yeah,
you know
Jared
what
Goff
I mean?
kind of in the same spot. We know what we're going to get out of him. We're not saying he needs to be the MVP this year. We're saying Jahmyr Gibbs needs to be the offensive player of the year this year.
Correct. And we think he can have a Hall of Fame type of season. So with that comes a little bit of different type of pressure than anybody else on the pyramid. And then the last person I have is Drew Petzing. The Lions have had a top 5 offense 4 years in a row, including last year in which their offensive line was terrible. Now they have a new offensive coordinator. There's an expectation to have a top 5 offense. Anything short of that is a huge disappointment. So Drew Petzing makes the list as well. Pretty tough to omit Cade Mays. Maybe I should have had him peeking from the corner because he's clearly someone who should be on here. I just didn't know who to take off.
Branch and Laporta just for the contract and health, I guess, but I don't know. Those two guys making the list feels a little weird. Like, Brian Branch is going to play half the year.
Yeah,
is he under pressure?
They might need him, though.
Yeah, I mean, I guess with the Kirby stuff, I guess that kind of adds into it. Like, they really need him to get healthy and then still be good. So I guess.
And with Laporta, it's like he kind of right now does feel like the odd man out in terms of who's getting contracts and who's
he does.
Not. So there's some pressure on him there. I can't really decide
if it's him or Branch, but yes, there was at least a time when I felt that way. I will say my last thoughts before we go to break and get everyone else's thoughts. Drew Petzing is under way more pressure than the rest of the guys on his tier. I think he's in tier 2. I think Drew Petzing, you could make the argument he's almost under more pressure than Dan Campbell, but at the end of the day, it is kind of automatically on Dan if it's on Drew Petzing. Drew. Like, for him to take over the mess that was John Morton last year, and then obviously the elephant in the room of Ben Johnson. Oh, can the Lions do this without Ben Johnson? And he goes to Chicago figuring it out. If Petzing is disappointing, Like, this guy is under crazy pressure early on, I feel like. Now, I get the perspective.
The stance I've made
well, yeah,
on this,
it just shouldn't matter. The Lions offense is good enough. It doesn't matter who the play caller is. Like, they should just be good anyways. I get that. But if for some godforsaken reason they're not a top 5 offense, who's the first person we're blaming? Is it Blake Miller? Is it Jared Goff? Is it Dan Campbell? No. It's Drew Petzing.
I don't disagree with that. But I also think, like, if Drew Petzing sucks, now there's some serious concerns about Dan Campbell's ability to hire coordinators.
Sure, but what came
it just
first?
goes back
what
to
came
Dan
first
Campbell.
What came first in that sentence, though? Not Dan Campbell can't really hire. No, it's Drew Petzing sucks. That came first.
Sure, but this is still Dan Campbell's operation, and if Drew Petzing sucks, that's on Dan Campbell.
It is. I agree.
Because then all of a sudden it's like, dude, you hired a crappy offensive coordinator 2 years in a row? Like, seriously? I think it all resorts back to the head coach at the end of the day.
It does.
Also, Drew Petzing has one of the ugliest headshots I've ever seen of a coach or a player.
God, he's just so bald. Like, there's a difference between being bald and whatever he is.
And you got the shine.
Alien type bald, man.
989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live on the Mitt. 10 o'clock hour is brought to you by Aired Insurance. Aired Insurance is all about putting you in a better insurance position, whether it's your home, auto, life, or business coverage. They make sure your protection actually fits your life. If you're looking for the team that takes the guesswork out of insurance, this is it. Be sure to go follow Aired Insurance on social media to stay connected and see how they're helping people every single day. Specialty Infusion Center, they're coming to Midland, opening in mid-July. Hey, that's past. They're open. Their experienced team provides personalized infusion care in private, comfortable suites with infusion verification, referral support, and even home infusion options when appropriate. They're accepting new patients and referrals now. Call 989-214-4998 or visit specialtyinfusioncenter.com to learn more. Who is under the most pressure of the Detroit Lions players and coaches? We didn't talk about Calvin Shepard. Who's under the most pressure and why? Text us in, 989-837-6125. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live on the Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9. on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, so who do you think is under the most pressure? I'm talking to our audience. I'm talking to Kyle as well. What do you think? What stands out about the Tuesday Tower? Because it feels like you just don't agree with Dan Campbell being at the top.
I
don't think the thing is, I don't think he'll be under pressure by the time we get to the bye week because I think they're going to be 4-1. I think they are going to succeed.
This is your list, though. Then why is he at the top? Like, if you don't think he is, then why is he there?
Because ultimately, there is expectation to perform and play well and be in the postseason and be Super Bowl contenders. I think they're going to be. If they aren't, the number one person that's going to be under the most scrutiny is Dan Campbell. That's the thing. So it's like a tough balance of like, he's under the most pressure, but I don't think that pressure is going to...
What is the pressure, though? Him getting fired? You think Dan Campbell could get fired after this year?
No.
Then what pressure is there? You know what I'm saying? All these other guys could lose their jobs if they don't perform, outside of Jahmyr Gibbs, or be traded, or whatever the situation is. Dan Campbell cannot. And so him being at the top of it just feels kind of crazy.
I don't think he could lose his job if the team, worst case scenario, they go 9-8 again and miss the playoffs. I don't think he'd be fired, but I think there would be some major questions about how did this happen 2 years in a row? And all of a sudden, the entire offseason would be centered around Dan Campbell conversations. So maybe I'm 1 year too early on.
Yeah, it's tough because I see Pizza Man in our YouTube chat says that Brad Holmes should be the one that's under pressure, not Dan Campbell. I feel like they kind of work as a tandem.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But I also just feel like both of their jobs are secure. They have done enough to rebuild the Lions from what they were. I understand that, yeah, they haven't won, so I get it. I'm not trying to make the case that, they should never be let go.
They've had success.
They've had more success than anyone. Like that, and they've done it relatively quickly and pretty in an awesome way as well, with making great draft picks and great trades. And Dan Campbell's beloved. And yeah, he goes for it on fourth down when that pisses some people off, whatever. Those two guys are not getting fired if the Lions have a bad year. And so that's why I just don't think they could be at the very top of this.
Who would you have at the top then?
I think I would legit have Drew Petzing at the very top. I think I would. I think he'd be number one. I seriously think that.
I'm not laughing because I think it's ridiculous. I totally see the reasoning. It's just it's funny.
I think I'd have him number one,
ready to kill this guy already, and he hasn't even
it's just
had a practice yet.
When you think about the way that the Lions season went last year, John Morton was essentially fired / let go as the offensive coordinator halfway through the year,
and they still had a top 5 offense.
Not under John Morton.
What week did he get fired?
That's not Ben. I'm not asking you to look up the top 5 offense. Was John Morton the instructor of a top 5 offensive football last year? Just no. He got fired, dude.
I test no.
Exactly. And it's the fact that who he's taking over. It's the Ben Johnson stuff will always live. It's just going to live on until they get the next right OC. Until that is, boom, okay, they figured it out post Ben Johnson. We can stop talking about it now.
Well,
Until then,
I have some bad news.
It's going to be talked about.
Unfortunately, I don't think they'll ever find an offensive coordinator better than Ben Johnson.
But the guy was like, okay, they figured it out. This is good enough. Exactly, it's good enough. We're not going to have the question mark of should Dan Campbell retake over play calling, because that's definitely going to be talked about if the offense struggles at some point in the season.
Mm-hmm.
I think DJ Reed deserves to be maybe at the top as well, but he's also just it's kind of boring to have him at the top, honestly.
That's how I felt about Ali McNeil, too.
Yeah, it's just but
a $28 million cap hit is just truly an astronomically high number.
The McNeil stuff specifically from the cap perspective, yeah. If that's a really bad contract, and then at the end of the day, though, then it kind of comes back to Brad Holmes a little bit. So
yeah,
I would have Petzing / DJ Reed at the top. I'm not saying Dan doesn't deserve to be on the list, but I would have him and Holmes together on a tier somewhere else in this.
I think if you asked 10 different people to come up with this and say who's under the most pressure, there'd be a lot of different answers, and
there'd be the people that would have Jared Goff. Notice he's not on here, but there certainly would be that group of people.
I think there's some people that would still think JMO should be on this.
Ooh, that's a good one.
But I think so. I don't know what else JMO has to prove. I think last year in the second half of the season, He proved that he can be one of the best wide receiver 2s in the NFL, and I'm not going to ask or expect him to do anything beyond that.
And that's the thing, too. Like, if you look at this tower, and I agree with you from this part, none of the star players are at the top of this thing. Like, obviously, you have Gibbs, Branch, Laporte at the bottom just as, like, for different reasons. But no Goff, no St. Brown, no Hutchinson. Like, all the Lions stars have already proven themselves. All of their blue-chip players have proven themselves in this league.
I think to have, like, if you were making your list and you're like, oh, Hutchinson's
He's
got to
be the
of pressure.
decoy.
What? Hutchinson was an all-pro guy last year.
And
what
that's,
else
like,
does he have to prove? Why is there pressure on him?
And for pressure, there has to be expectation for something, and there has to be an if. If they don't succeed, then this happens. If Hutchinson isn't the decoy, what does that mean? The Lions' season is terrible? No,
he's
exactly.
probably going to have a great season.
Yeah.
Like, why would? There's literally zero reason to think he won't have a great year again. He's had a great year every year of his career.
Whereas those two guys that you have in the second tier, DJ Reed, Aleem McNeil, if those guys don't have good years, like that is bad news for the Lions. Specifically, Reed, I think.
I think there is a case for one other rookie. And it probably goes without saying, it's Derek Moore.
Oh, really?
I think there's a case for like Blake Miller obviously is on the list and should be because we kind of need him to perform more than God. Like, who's the last first round pick who we needed to perform right away this badly?
Terrion Arnold.
But they were fine, like, even with him being average. Like, I would go back to...
Were they fine? I mean, like, their secondary has never been a strong suit.
Like, I would go back to maybe even Aiden Hutchinson. Like, they desperately needed Hutchinson to be good right away.
They were coming off a 2-win season, or 3-win season. They didn't need him to be good.
Okay, then how about this? There has never been a first-round pick from Brad Holmes that has had the amount of pressure that Blake Miller has from the day he puts on the pads tomorrow. Is that fair to say?
I agree.
I think so, too. I do think Derek Moore is under a little pressure to, like, eventually take that starting role. And I don't even know if I'd call it pressure as much as it is, like, sheer hope.
So we can end the
who's playing across from Hutchinson
the edge
debate.
next to Hutchinson thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's like desperation. Like, please be the savior that's going to get the Lions out of this, like, rotating carousel of guys across from Hutchinson.
Trev says, if this year's disappointment, they should be on the hot seat. I assume referring to when we were talking about Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes.
Yeah, I think you've convinced me in that way. Like, there is nothing that could happen this year for Dan Campbell that could be fired. But I think I ultimately kind of stand pat that if the Lions were to fall short of making the playoffs yet again, like, the guy who's going to get the most blame would just be Dan Campbell. Do you agree with that part of it?
I mean, obviously it depends on how it goes down. Like, if Goff has just out of nowhere this tough year, it would go on him. Just because, like, he's the quarterback.
Well,
like, if he just had a bad year.
It goes to Petzing,
sure.
Which ultimately goes back to Campbell. It's just this cycle. You could get it back to Campbell at any way you want to.
Sure. It's kind of how this works. And it's just how sports work, right? A team is bad. The coach is always the scapegoat.
Yeah.
More so in the NBA than in the NFL, but still, I mean, how many coaches did we have fired last year? Like 9?
No, I think ridiculous. It was 11.
Yeah, it was something crazy.
Yeah. All right, well, we're way overdue for a break right now. It's the Ben Bosscher Show, live here on 100.9 The Mitt. The show, as always, is brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. The other thing that I got to let you know is the Greater Midland Community Center. That is your hub for health, wellness, and fun right here in the heart of Midland. From fitness classes, open gym, swimming, youth sports, family activities, there's something for everybody. Affordable memberships, expert staff, and a welcoming space for all ages and abilities. If you're hosting an event, ask about the rental space and full-service event support. Stay active, stay connected, all under one roof at the Greater Midland Community Center. Learn more or sign up today at greatermidland.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100. Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on the Mitt. Kyle Sandel behind the glass today, and he's leaving me in the dark on what this is supposed to be. It's around the league.
It's time to zoom out and go around the league.
Yeah, that's right, Ben.
All this says is NBA something, Ben, don't look. Oh, great.
Did you look?
I did not.
Okay, good. You followed the rules. We're switching it up today. Around the league is typically NFL-based. We're going NBA today. So the graphic is lying to you there. Okay, Bleacher Report put out an article yesterday saying, ranking every NBA starting lineup after LeBron James signs with the Philadelphia 76ers. Ben, I want you to see if you can name the top 10 starting fives in basketball, projected starting fives there is. I have two things before you start guessing. First off, I just want to warn you, this list has gone a little viral because of how bad it is.
Oh,
so
great.
I just want to preface you there. Secondly, without even counting this towards your guessing in the top 10 and this and that, where do you think the Pistons fall in this? From a starting five perspective, where do you think the Detroit Pistons are on this list? You guess and I'll tell you where they are.
18.
Okay, that's a little low. 13. Pistons are 13th. Their projected starting five of Cade, Duncan, Asar, John Collins, Jalen Duren. If Jalen Duren comes back, of course, which we expect him to.
Big if.
Not in the top 10, though.
That's not surprising at all. I mean, they have one superstar in Cade. I think they have the best.
The one that won 60 games last year. It's basically the same starting five. It's not a top 10 starting five in basketball.
I think they won a lot of their
60
games based on out hustling other people, not necessarily like talent of the starting roster.
Sure.
Which you have to have. Like, I'm glad they out hustle people, but in terms of like
They got the
pure
hustle man.
talent for the starting roster, no, I don't think they're a top 10 roster.
All right, so I'm going to give you 3 strikes. I'm going to give you an extra strike, so you get like the 4th strike and you're out because of how bad this is.
Well, there's 3 teams that kind of levitate above everyone else when I'm thinking about. Actually,
this
there's
is
4.
just starting 5. This isn't bench. This
I know.
Is, yeah.
I will. I mean, let me just knock out the Philadelphia 76ers. I think there's an argument they do have the best roster in all of basketball, or the best starting 5 in all of basketball. Now, whether or not they're healthy, obviously,
this
big
is,
concern.
Yeah, but this is as full strength.
Then yeah, sure, give me Philly.
Yeah, they're number 1. Maxey, Edgecombe, Brown, Braun, Embiid.
Every single one of those guys is either won an MVP, a Finals MVP, made an All-Star bid, or just came off one of the best rookie seasons that we've had.
Sure, yeah, they've done all of those things, I guess.
I mean, am I wrong?
No, it's just listed off 4 different things for 5 guys. Like it's not like they're all MVPs or anything.
2 of them are.
Anyways,
okay. Well, give me the Thunder. They're like obviously credited as one of the deepest teams in the entire league, but they also just have an incredible starting 5 and 3 guys that have made all-pro teams and obviously a 2-time MVP and SGA. So give me the Thunder.
yep, they're number 2. Same starting 5 as last year, it looks like, as well.
And now I'll take who this team was defeated by in the Western Conference Finals. The San Antonio Spurs, who don't have all that many changes to their starting lineup other than the addition of Tobias Harris.
They're number 6. The San Antonio Spurs are. De'Aaron
What?
Fox, Steph Castle, Devin Vassell. They're still going to say Julian Champagne's the projected starter at the 4 with Wembanyama.
Wait, did they have Dylan Harper in the starting lineup?
No, who's he starting over? They have the same team.
Fox?
They're going to bring De'Aaron Fox making $45 million off the bench.
You're going to bring Dylan Harper off the bench, who was your best offensive player in the finals?
Who's getting benched?
I would just run 3 guards.
So Vassell gets benched?
Yeah.
That's messed up.
Or you just find a way to trade Fox.
That would be obviously the nice thing to do.
Yeah,
They're number 6, though.
Wow.
Yeah, so you still need 3, 4, 5.
Well, give me the reigning champs, the Knicks.
Yep, Knicks are 3rd. Once again, same starting 5. A lot of these are the same. Now we're starting to get into a territory of teams that aren't the exact same.
Well, I've got one team that comes to mind as a team that just, for lack of a better word, soft. But their starting 5 is very
soft.
deep and very talented. Give me the Cavs.
Ooh, he goes with the Cavs. You're right. They're 7th. Nice job. Same starting 5. Harden, Mitchell, Strus, Mobley, Allen. But maybe Mario Hezonja will be added into that starting 5 now. Still no strikes yet for Ben. He's got about half of them, but this is where it starts to get hard.
No, I think I lock up a couple more.
Yeah.
I'll take the Celtics here with Tatum and then the addition of Paul George. Yes, they lose out on Jaylen Brown, but they still have Derek White, gold medalist, by the way. I'll take this team. Give me the Celtics.
Celtics, not in the
Really?
top 10. They're 11th. Pritchard, White, George, Tatum, Mitchell, Robinson. Just outside of it. They're number 11.
Okay.
And
now
surprisingly,
it's
Ben,
coming to the
they're
point-
not the biggest snub outside of the top 10. There is another team that is not in the top 10 that I can't believe it.
Well, okay, here's where that hint that you gave me early that this list is going viral for how bad it is coming into play, where I don't know what to pick at this point. Do I do the
There's still
teams that
some
I think are
obvious
the top
ones.
10?
There is certainly still some obvious ones.
I mean, okay, I'm going to pull up the standings so I'm not missing teams. I'm pulling a Kyle.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, that's kind of cheating because you're just like looking up the best teams, but sure. This kind of is just like the best teams ranking. That's okay.
Okay, I won't look. I haven't looked.
No, you can look. I don't care.
I still don't really think the Miami Heat should be on there, even with Giannis and Bam. Toronto's like a maybe. Orlando would be crazy. The Pacers still exist, but I don't know. What numbers am I missing?
You are missing number 4, number 5, number 8, number 9, number 10. So you're missing half the list.
Give me the Timberwolves.
The Timberwolves. That is the biggest snub. That is the one that I cannot believe they're not in the top 10. They are 12th. This starting 5 is a top 5 starting 5 in basketball. LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, Ayu Dosunmu, Jaden McDaniels, and Rudy Gobert. That is a top 5 starting 5 in basketball. I cannot believe that one.
If that's the case, I don't even know where to go next.
You got one more strike available, and then the 4th one will be.
I don't.
Yeah, they're number 12.
Give me the Nuggets, I suppose.
Number 12 is crazy. Yep, Nuggets are on here. They're number 5, which I think, I think their starting 5 is still really good.
I don't get a nice sounder. You X me out, but there we go.
There you go.
There we go. Some kind gestures.
There you go. Yep, they're number 5. Murray, Brown, Johnson, Gordon, Jokic.
I mean, I don't think
Number
it's-
4. You're missing number 4.
Missing number 4. I mean, I don't think the Pacers just get that sort of respect, even though I think they are kind of a nasty team heading into this.
Just guess them, Ben.
The Pacers.
They're number 4.
Oh my God.
The Indiana Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton, Andrew Nembhard, Aaron Nesmith, Pascal Siakam, Ivica Zubac. I think the
That's not a
argument
better
here,
team than the
number
than the
4 is crazy.
Timberwolves.
Number 4 is crazy. I think the argument to be made is that this lineup is better than their lineup that went to Game 7 of the NBA Finals.
I don't disagree with that. I still don't think that lineup's better than what the Timberwolves
I'm
have
with
to
you.
offer.
I'm just saying, I would assume that's what the argument is. Like, Zubac is better than Turner. Everybody else is the same. Now, if Halliburton's health is like a huge, is he going to be as good as he was? Who knows? But okay, so you've got the top 5. You're missing number 8 and number 9 and number 10.
I mean, this
You can
this
still
could be a
afford to get. You
handful
can
of
afford to get
teams.
one more wrong.
Thought it's 3 strikes and you're out.
No, I said you get an extra strike.
Oh,
God.
I guess the Miami Heat. I suppose. I don't. Sure, the Heat.
Guessing the Heat, okay.
Nope.
Yeah, no. Heat are 14th on this list, which I kind of agree with. Their starting lineup's kind of gross, honestly. Davion Mitchell, Tim Hardaway Jr., Wiggins, Giannis, Bam. Ugh. All right, you only got one. You can only get one more wrong, and then you're out.
Should I be thinking
foul
East
tip.
or West?
You've got 2 East, 1 West. I will give you the hint that all of these teams made the playoffs last year. And I have a bigger hint I could give you, but it would really give it away. But I might just do it anyways.
Give me the Raptors.
The Raptors are on here. There you go. The Raptors are number 10. Quickly, Barrett, Kawhi, Scotty, Jakob Poeltl. It's not better than the Timberwolves.
Sure.
I think it is better than the Celtics, though, so I'll give them that. Maybe. I don't know, actually. Yeah, they're number 10. So you got one West, one East team. Both made the playoffs last year.
I have a feeling I know who the West team is, and I can't believe it. Is it the Lakers?
No, not the Lakers. Lakers are like 18th on this list. Yeah, they're
Just give it to me.
they're pretty low. They're 16th. The number 9 team is the Houston Rockets with the return of Fred VanVleet.
What the F are we talking about?
VanVleet, Amen Thompson, Durant, Smith, Şengün. And then number 8. I don't even think the Rockets one is that bad. Number 8's the bad one. Number 8 is the Atlanta Hawks. They have the 8th best starting 5 in basketball. It's the same exact starting 5 as last year. They have not added to it. McCollum, Nah, Daniels, Jalen Johnson, Onyeka Okongwu.
The Atlanta Hawks not once ever crossed my mind.
Yeah, and
Not
they
once.
didn't even add anyone to their starting 5. They added Lou Dort. He's not going to start for
The
them.
Houston Rockets lost in the first round of the
To
playoffs.
LeBron. My hint was going to be all these teams lost in round 1 because they all did, but yeah. There you go. There's your top 5 starting or whatever in starting 5 in basketball. Yep.
The Rockets are better than the Timberwolves. Right? I forgot about that.
That's true, yeah.
The Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mid, of course, is brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. As for the Greater Midland Community Center, look, we are here in the week of. Actually, no, I just told you about the Midland Community Center. I don't need to do that again. So we're just going to send it to break here on the Ben Bosscher Show.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100. built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, 989-837-6125. Fine, we'll do it. Whether or not Vita Vea is going to be on the Detroit Lions, obviously he requested a trade yesterday. Look, I do think the Lions have a need for a nose tackle. They do not have a run-stuffing guy to just line up over the center, eat up space, eat up blocks, allow Jack Campbell to come in and do his thing. They don't really have a guy like that. They put a pretty big emphasis on bringing in defensive tackles with a little bit of pass rush juice. You saw that in the third day of the NFL draft this year with a couple other guys that they brought in. Tyree West and Skylar Thompson. Like, they're looking to get a little faster and get after the quarterback a little bit more. But in doing so, I think they have completely ignored, maybe this is purposeful, maybe it's not, they have ignored a true nose tackle to just eat space. Okay, Vita Vea becomes available. I think there would be a total need for him there. Kind of an unsung hero of a lot of defenses for Tampa over the years. If he wants a contract extension, and that's the reason he's requesting a trade, I don't think that is something the Lions can provide for him. As good of a fit as I think it would be.
Yeah, I mean, and that's most teams across the league, right? Everybody could add a player the caliber of Vita Vea. He wouldn't want to leave Tampa if it wasn't for the contract. He's been there his whole career, and like he's had an extreme amount of success there. It's all about the deal. And so, yeah, if this was something that the Lions could figure out, it'd be great. But they're already dealing with their own contract issues. Not even issues, but just
to bring in another guy who needs a new contract seems a little crazy right now.
It'd be awesome. You also just do, like, I understand your point about, they don't really have the big run-stuffing guy. And Roy Lopez was, like, pretty important last year. And losing him and not really replacing him is a big deal.
You bring in these guys on first downs to just take away any sort of ability for an offense to run it up the gut and make it second and 6 versus 2nd and 9. That is an enormous difference. And to have a guy out there on third downs or on like a 3rd and 1, like you need those type of players.
Which 100% you do. But also, at the end of the day, you did take an interior defensive lineman in the first round a year ago that you want to have a bigger role this year. And so I think that to me is almost the first decline of the going after Vita Vea thing over the contract.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, just because like you did take Tyleik Williams in round 1, and he didn't have that big of a role last year. And Aleem McNeil is a guy that needs to prove it this year. I get that they don't fit that same role that Vea would, but you want those guys to see as much of the field as they possibly could.
Why did they have him lose so much weight then? He lost 50 pounds. That's a lot.
I don't know.
And he said he was listed at more than he actually weighed a lot more than what he was listed at, which was 328. So who knows what he actually weighs right now? But it seems like there was a pretty large emphasis on, no, everyone we line up on the defensive line has to have some pass rush ability. Like, we're not putting the DJ Readers or Roy Lopez's out there anymore because we want everyone to be able to get after quarterback a little bit faster. Because, yes, they finished top 5 in sacks last year. They're also trailing a lot.
You know what Vita Vea's weight is?
405.
He's a huge guy. Okay, that's insane. 350.
Really? That's it? I guess he's probably not that tall.
350?
How tall is he?
6'4"?
Yeah, I would have guessed more. Who's the heaviest guy in the league?
I mean, it's probably
do we have a guy who's 400
definitely
pounds?
An offensive lineman is the heaviest guy in the league. No, there's no way there's a 400-pounder in the NFL. I mean, maybe like Vince Wilfork in his day.
Desmond Watson is 464 pounds.
What? Okay, yeah, never. And he's a nose tackle on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, there's a couple guys that are 400.
Crazy. Wow.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, going into last year, the heaviest guy was Trent Brown, tackled the Texans at 380.
I remember this Desmond Watson guy from Florida, too.
Yeah, so he was a monster. Yeah, he's new. He's the guy that just got drafted. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be able to play at that weight, though.
No, there's no way. He won't be able to play.
He'll get run off the field.
He's going to have to drop 50 pounds.
Yeah.
Like Tyleik.
See, that's the thing. Tyleik was a true nose tackle at Ohio State. And in order to take that next step, I think he's got to do the Aleem route of like slim down, build some pass rush juice, and you become somewhat like common phrase for these defensive tackles that just kind of overwhelm you with size and athleticism.
Yeah.
They're dancing bears. You usually, as an edge rusher, you want to stay low to the ground. But sometimes these defensive tackles, they just like are so overwhelming, whether it's Dexter Lawrence or whether it's, Aaron Donald's obviously the biggest example of that, but he wasn't also like the tallest guy in stature. He was
Chris
just
Jones just kind of fits that mold a little bit better.
Yeah, dancing bear. Like these guys just overwhelm you and you can't really stay in front of them. if Tyreek Williams can turn himself into that is something that's pretty much invaluable across all of football, to have some guys with some pass rush juice from the interior who also stuff the run. Those guys are way more valuable than their contracts suggest or their sack numbers suggest. Those guys are do-it-all players who help unlock a lot of other people on your defense. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, live here on the Mitt. We will be back with the 11 o'clock hour. More on Tarek Skubal here shortly, because I think the Tigers have put us in a situation where it is okay to do this for the next 5 games.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
All right, welcome back in. Look, we're now at the point where the Tigers have forced us into a position in which we have to root against them for the next 5 days. I don't want to do it. I don't agree with doing it. Like, it's always a bad thing when you have to root against your team. I think it's loser activity for the most part. I'll never do it with the Lions again. We've seen enough losing, and unless they are like up for a number 1 overall pick, I don't care if they pick 16th versus 18th. Trade up. You can always trade up if you really want a guy. Unless you're actually taking, like fighting for a first overall pick, I never want them to lose a football game. I never want a baseball team to lose for the most part either, because there's a lottery system. In the NBA, same thing. If you have the worst record in the NBA this upcoming season and going forward, you don't even have the best odds. I don't want them to lose games. Same with hockey. This 5-game stretch that the Tigers now find themselves in, I am deeming it acceptable, not only like for myself, first of all. I guess it doesn't really matter what other people are thinking and when they can and can't do this, but like I'm okay with rooting against this team for the next 5 days because of the position and the stance that the Tigers have taken. And that stance is, well, we want to see where we are come the trade deadline. We want to see what our record is and what the standings look like on August 3rd. Grow a pair of balls, man. Do your job. Your job is to make decisions, hard decisions, that shape the future and the present of the Detroit Tigers. Your job's not to have some computer tell you what to do. No one said the president of baseball operations is an easy job. People say, oh, well, why don't you be the GM? That sounds terrible. I couldn't do that. I couldn't be the GM of any team, obviously. What Scott Harris has to do is really hard. This is a cop-out. Oh, we're going to see if we win or lose all these games this week. What? You're going to let the win-loss of the next 5 individual games dictate the most franchise-altering decision any team has had to make over the past 5 seasons? You're going to let these 5 meaningless games against Baltimore, and who do they play this upcoming weekend? Whoever it is. You're going to let these games determine and decide the future of the Tigers rather than yourself, whose job is to literally do that? I can't with this team, man. So fine. If you're going to take a moronic stance of we're not going to do anything until we see what the standings look like and we're going to let the wins and losses speak for themselves. If you're going to take that dumb stance, then I'm going to do something that you're forcing me to do, and that's root against you. If winning and losing is truly what determines what the Tigers are going to do with Tarek Skubal, it shouldn't, but that's the stance the Tigers are taking, then fine. I want you to lose every single one of the next 5 games. Consider me a Baltimore Orioles fan for the next 2 days. Seriously.
And then you get to go root for your favorite team after that.
Is it Cleveland?
No, it's the Athletics.
Oh, I don't really care about them.
Team with no home.
Oh, the homeless A's. Yeah, we get to root for a homeless team.
Where are they playing at? Who knows? They're on the road, though.
It's unbelievable that it's gotten to this point. And if the Tigers were like any smart team, I don't think we'd have to be doing this. Like, oh, you have to root for them to lose. It's just what would be happening. They'd be selling Tarek Skubal. Team like the Dodgers, team like the Yankees, any high-level organization, guess what? No one would ever, it would never cross any of their minds. Well, we're going to let the next 6 games dictate how our trade deadline's going to go. Huh? What? What happens if you go 1-1 the next 2 days? You still don't know? You're 7 games below 500. I know. The fans know. Every other GM knows. It seems like the only people that haven't given up on the Tigers season is the Detroit Tigers front office. And they refuse to do it until they are truly eliminated from this thing. Fine. Then I want you to lose. I want you to lose so you don't make a franchise-altering dumb decision. And if this is the case, if this is the stance they're going to take, and they keep losing, then it should mean they're trading Tarek Skubal. And if they continue losing and still don't trade him, then everyone should be fired because everybody in the front office, in that case, would be not only spineless, but ruined a decision that, like, completely ruined a situation in which they didn't know that they were going to be in somehow. If they were to not trade Tarek Skubal and continue to lose, it's not only spineless to take that approach, but it's a complete and utter failure to not move off of a guy in which you're not going to make the playoffs anyway. I'm like speechless as to how stupid the Detroit Tigers front office has taken this, like the stance that they've taken over the past 2 weeks.
Well, and then it also gives Scott Harris the opportunity to be like the good guy in this scenario where like you do trade Tarek Skubal and then the team continues to play well. You look like the genius, right? You look like, oh, it didn't matter. Look, we got assets back and we're still playing good baseball. Like, you look like the good guy in that scenario. There's no world where you look like anything but an idiot if you don't trade him, right? There's no world at all. Even if they go to the playoffs, and as long as you don't win the World Series, you look like the idiot. Because then Tarek Skubal is still in a different uniform in the start of next season. And you mentioned it too, like with the other teams around the deadline. You say the Dodgers, the Yankees. It's not even them. It's the teams that are also bad. The Toronto Blue Jays, who went to the World Series last year and then added Dylan Cease in the offseason, who is second right now favorite to win the American League Cy Young, are the worst team in the American League East. They're just 1 game worse than the Tigers. And everything you hear is that they are going to be full-fledged sellers at the deadline, as far as all their expiring contracts go.
As they should be.
Because they're a smart team. A team that went to the World Series last year that actually could convince themselves, hey, we should not sell this thing because we know what we're capable of. They played in the best Game 7 of the World Series that I've seen since Cubs-Indians way back when. Like, it was an unbelievable game. And yet they are like, yeah, we got to sell George Springer. We got to sell these other guys that are going into their final years of their deal because we're the worst team in our division. Yet they're only one game worse overall record-wise than the Tigers. They're a smart team. They understand that they understand how this process works. Like baseball, there is a blueprint for it. It's not football. It's not basketball even where it's, if we're bad in basketball, we have to sell everyone. That's not how it works. In baseball, when there's no salary cap, you trade all of your guys that are on expiring deals if you're bad. It's just how it works. And if you don't, you're stupid. And when you're good, you buy. And when the Tigers were good, what did they buy last year?
Trash.
A bunch of nothing. So now that you think that, there's these group of fans that think, they should buy again. Look what they did last year. His team was in first place and added a bunch of garbage to their team and convinced the fans it was buying. What do you think they're going to buy when they're not even good? You have to do what all these other smart franchises do, and trying to rely on Scott Harris to be that is, one, kind of dumb for us to think that way, I guess. But two, it's just it's unrealistic. And it's scary.
It's just, I don't know what's scarier. The thought of keeping Tarek Skubal or the stance that they've taken as to this trade deadline overall. We're going to wait and see on the results of these games.
We know what's scarier, not actually trading Skubal. Because there is the world where, hey, this is a play. This is a play from the Tigers saying, we don't know. We might not trade him. And they, in their brains, I'm not saying this is the right play, in their brains, it is like hey, these other team, we're convincing these other teams we might not trade him. It's going to take something really big for us to trade Skubal because we don't know if we want to trade him or not. It's not like the correct approach to take, but there's a world where that's the approach they're taking. And they ultimately were always going to trade Tarek Skubal. And honestly,
or is
if
that
they do,
a stupid approach to take because you're putting it out there, we don't know? Fine, then we're not dealing with your dumb GM again because for the last two consecutive years, he's been a headache to work with.
That 100% could be the play, and that is it almost feels more likely than the other one.
Let's time out and just let's say it's true. Like, let's say there's no lying regarding this situation. They truly are taking it day by day, game by game, and want to see where they are. That might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It might be the stupidest approach to a trade deadline in the history of baseball. It's one thing to make horrific trades, to basically throw your shoulders up as the president of baseball operations and say, I don't know what our operations are going to be. I want to see if we win or lose. It's one of the worst approaches to a trade deadline in the history of the sport.
Almost as worse as last year. It's one of the worst ever. Also, last year was.
Yeah, you know what I think is actually a good idea? Let's buy 9 different players who all suck. Let's add 9 players who all
half of them were
stink.
waived by the end of the year.
I saw that going around, all the different players that
and then
they added
Randy
at this year's
Dobnak
deadline.
was one of the guys they traded for, and that guy shoved against the Tigers the other day for the Royals.
Let me pull up the list because I saw this was going around on the good old social medias. Chris Paddock.
Chris Paddock on my wrist.
Randy Dobnak. Rafael Montero. What happened? How many games did he play?
He
2?
played a good... No, Rafael Montero was here for a minute.
Paul Sewald.
Never suited up for the Tigers.
Yep. Kyle Finnegan.
Fine.
Cody Hewer.
Terrible.
And Charlie Morton, who genuinely made the Tigers worse. And I wanted to bash my head into
look, I'll say,
table.
man, I was there for every Charlie Morton start. He was a fun dude to watch pitch. He's going to give up 12 hits, but he's going to strike out 9 dudes, and he's not going to walk anybody. He's throwing that thing down the strike zone.
It's like you're when you're playing the show and you get to like kind of know where the pitch is going.
Yeah.
When you're playing on the same TV, it's like your play leaking a little bit.
Yeah.
989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on the Mitt. Are you rooting for the Tigers to lose the rest of this week? Because I certainly am, and I think this is the only time that I'm allowing it for myself. Like, this is the only time that I'd be okay with the Tigers, rooting against the Tigers. Consider me an Orioles fan for the next 2 days. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live here on the Mitt. 11 o'clock hour brought to you by Yetter Insurance. Life happens fast, and at Yetter Insurance Group, they're here to make sure you're covered every step of the way. Locally owned and trusted in Midland for decades, they treat you like family, not just another policy number. From home and auto to business and life insurance, Yetter is the right coverage for every stage of life. Their team makes insurance simple with expert advice and real people you can actually talk to. That's Yetter Insurance Group. We'll be there when you need us since 1940.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mix. by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, speaking of Tarek Skubal, and speaking of Scott Harris and his lack of balls between his legs to actually make a decision of his own, we do have a little bit of an update. I don't know if I'd call it an update as much as I would just call it Jeff Passan giving us a little something. ESPN's top reporter, insider when it comes to Major League Baseball. There's been a lot of speculation, not even speculation. It's been widely reported that Scott Harris is difficult to work with. Scott Harris isn't one that you love to get on the phone with and just kind of chop it up. He's hard to negotiate with. He overvalues his own guys. He asks for 300 cents on the dollar. He's a tough negotiator. Not because he wins deals, because he just refuses to negotiate. And obviously, if you've been listening to the show today, I've been telling you guys for a while that Scott Harris has lacked, any sort of sense as to what to do, because it truly does feel like the Tigers are taking this day by day. Well, here's some more evidence that the Tigers don't exactly know what they're doing.
When I talk with opposing executives, they all say the same thing. The Tigers want to trade Tarek Skubal, but can they? And that's where we're going to get to over the next few days. Detroit needs to make a decision, and there are going to be plenty of suitors. The Rays want Tarek Skubal. The Brewers want Tarek Skubal. The Phillies could sneak in there. The Braves, and of course the Dodgers lurking around. If the Tigers do trade Skubal, whether they get back an arm who's big league capable right now, outfield help, a little bit of both maybe. They're also going to be getting Jackson Jobe back. Detroit's pitching with Jobe, with Troy Melton, with Valdez. They are in a good spot going forward, and they actually could afford and might be best off if they trade Tarek Skubal.
So what does that mean? They want to trade Tarek Skubal, but can they? Huh? Well, I don't even, can they because they're playing hot? There's 7 games below 500. Scott Harris, you can do whatever you want. You're the president of baseball operations. There's nobody telling you that you can't. They're not playing well enough to say that you can't trade Tarek Skubal. You can trade. If you want to trade him, just trade him. It's not that difficult. Is that where where your mind goes with this too? We can't trade him. What does that even mean? You're the president. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I would assume it means just from the sheer fact of, can they trade a player of this caliber? Can they convince the fan base? And that's what I've continued to harp on. I think that there is just a misunderstanding from the Tigers that, nah, man, most of the fans are ready to trade Tarek Skubal and can recognize that it's clearly what's best for the team. So when he says they want to trade Tarek Skubal, but can they? I immediately do point to, what you said, that they've been playing good baseball. And they have that devil on their shoulder that is whispering in their ear, hey, we're playing good baseball, man. This thing could really come back. And Tarek Skubal being a part of it. Imagine him pitching in game 1 of a series. And then it's followed by Troy Melton. And you have Kiner Montero, Casey Mize, this and that. That's probably the reason why they say, can they? Because it's you are, in their mind, they might think it's punting on the season. And I think that's okay to do, because the season has been punted from day one. You're 7 games below 500. It's not like we're having a tough decision to be made here. And
if you go on a miracle run without him, awesome. Sweet. It's a bigger priority to trade him.
100%. And you can still go on that miracle run. It just could happen. You never know. But right now, you're not in a spot to make that decision. You're not in a spot to sit here and act like that's a possibility, because it's not, with that being on the line.
Let's switch gears here, because I'm getting incredibly frustrated talking about this.
I do have a
moronic of an approach it's been.
A good way to mix this in. Ryan in the YouTube chat. Worst trade deadline, Lions 2023 or Tigers 2025?
2023, was that when they added Donovan Peoples-Jones?
Correct.
And they didn't go add Montez Sweat, and I'll take it to the grave if they had Montez Sweat in the 49ers game. They go to the Super Bowl and potentially beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, and Peoples-Jones, what did he do in that game?
Probably nothing.
He got 0 snaps, yeah.
Ran like he had a piano on his back most of the time.
Hey, he could have been better than Josh Reynolds in that game, though. I still think
Why are you bringing up that game?
You literally brought it up. You were the one. You said if they have Sweat in that game, they win it.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Tigers 2025 is still worse. It's such a bad trade deadline. When you were in first place and you were the best team in the American League for 90% of the season up to that point.
Oh, God, we can't trade Max Anderson for Geno Suarez.
You didn't add
way.
a single bat and then the reason you lose is because you go 15 innings and you couldn't score a run in the final 8. Oh my God! Yeah,
That maybe should have been fireable alone.
2025 Tigers deadline is the worst of any deadline that I could think of. Yeah.
So if Scott Harris has the 2025 deadline, and also like the worst deadline we can possibly think of, it also has the debacle with Jack Flaherty where he sold him for 70 cents on the dollar. Hey, let's check in on the prospects that he got back in return. Oh, look at that. Tyron Lorenzo's still down in Double-A. And Trey Sweeney, I think he might have died. I have no clue what's going on with Trey Sweeney. He hasn't played at all this year. With that debacle, back-to-back deadlines that have just been kind of awful. If this one also sucks.
And this one is like the most important. That's the worst part about it.
And it's trending towards just being a bad deadline. Probably time to get rid of Scott Harris.
The offseasons haven't been as bad. I'll give him that. He works relatively well in the offseason. But the in-season stuff, it's like too much to handle for him. It's almost like
he gets like stressed out.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, this is a lot going on. We're playing baseball still. We were just focused on the draft like a month ago. Like, what? Now we're supposed to trade guys? Can we wait till November to do all that stuff?
I'm just gonna go home and take an edible. I'm just gonna go watch TV for a while. I just need a break. It's like what? What?
No,
yeah,
this
it does
is
feel
the
like
most
he gets
important
overwhelmed.
part, man. Like, this is the most important part for like 90% of teams in baseball. More important than the offseason, more important than the draft,
yeah.
More important than opening day. Like, this is for most teams. Now, like, you have teams like the Dodgers who know their most important part is, well, the playoffs and the World Series, but also the offseason. Every other team's like where they figure out the future and next season, it's not figured out in the offseason. It's figured out now.
This is how you shape your team.
Yes.
It's shaped at the deadline, not in the offseason. It's because it's so hard for players to actually reach free agency.
Especially with this upcoming offseason on top of it. Like,
where you have no idea what's
going to happen. Which, by the way,
happen.
Passan, I saw another Jeff Passan thing here. He was asked just a series of questions about baseball, giving a percentage chance of this happening. They asked him if there will be a salary cap put into baseball next year, and he said 0% chance. I think that means something. I mean, obviously the players don't want it, and if the players aren't going to agree to it and they're willing to lock out, they probably have a little more leverage than the owners.
0% chance because we're not going to have baseball next year. 0% chance because nothing's going to happen next year. I think we'll play eventually. I don't think we play opening day. That's kind of where I stand on.
He also said that it was like a 40% chance they play, or they go into a lockout. He basically gave it like a 50-50. So, but that's a little bit further out than the salary cap stuff.
Yeah. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. Show, as always, is brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. And I'll tell you this, if you're looking to move right now before the summer comes to an end, you got to meet Matt Smith of Modern Realty. Redefining real estate with a fresh and modern approach. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, Matt Smith delivers personalized service tailored to you, cutting-edge marketing, local expertise, and commitment to making your real estate experience as smooth and successful as possible. From cozy starter homes to luxury properties, they know how to find you the perfect fit. Trust a team that combines innovation with real-world know-how. It's Matt Smith, Modern Realty.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, welcome back in. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mid. Kyle Sandel, step up to the plate. It is your time to shine with the news.
The Mit's Morning Catch.
Oh, hey, Kyle.
What's up, dude?
Hey, bro.
I don't know if you caught this. Pete Thamel this morning reporting that Ohio State
Yeah, I did.
has announced a new partnership deal with Chase Bank as the official bank sponsor, and more importantly, will be the new jersey patch partner across the school's 36 varsity programs. Chase Bank logo going right up above the Big Ten logo on the football uniforms. Going to be on the basketball uniforms as well. So this has officially hit college. $17 million per year Chase Bank is reportedly paying to Ohio State to put these on the jerseys. This is something that people were pretty fearful of. Whether you like Ohio State or not, most people here, I would assume, don't. Pretty iconic football jersey, and now it's going to look a little bit different with a bank logo on it.
You know,
John, I'm assuming, has a big take on this.
I'm sure John does. You know what I would
He
tell
hates
John?
this stuff.
Who cares?
That's kind of how I feel. I don't
You
really
don't see
care.
these logos.
I don't really care that much. Now, the
Like, if
soccer
I'm-
ones are different, like that are just all over.
Correct.
Like that stuff, like across the chest and everything.
Where the entire
Huge.
jersey is a billboard for a logo.
Yeah.
Sure, I have problems with that, and if NFL or
yeah.
NBA jerseys ever look like that, we've got a problem. The small patches in the shoulder, who cares? You can't see them on TV. It does not change the game. Do I want to buy a jersey and have that in the corner? No, not really. So the little tiny logo in the corner that doesn't matter at all and doesn't change your experience watching the game, who cares? I don't really think it's that big of a deal.
The one thing I do dislike is watching these golf tournaments, specifically this year. It feels like there has been a bigger emphasis on the advertising of the golfers, where my guy Sam Burns at the last two majors rocking an ADP polo. Okay, that's nothing to do with golf. And then on his collar, he's got two ads on the collar of his polo. He's got the MasterCard and then Raising Cane's on his collar of his polo. What are we doing, dude? Like, I'm seeing that all over the screen.
Sure, but like, especially with golf, where it's not like it's a team thing, it's a golfer decision. Like,
Yeah.
if some company's like, "Oh, dude, we want to put Raising Cane's on your collar. We'll give you."
I understand.
$750,000
trust me,
to
Ben.
do
I
it.
get all of that.
What are you
part of
gonna-
it. It's
what are
just
you
like,
gonna do?
dude, we're throwing this like that's not how a collar looks. It's not how a polo shirt works.
It is when Raising Cane's tells
Scotty
you they'll make.
Scheffler, he just has the Nike polo with the Nike hat. No ads anywhere.
Well, yeah, Scotty Scheffler also like probably has a lot of money coming in through Nike. If Raising
Sam
Cane's wants
Burns
to
is
give,
a runner-up at two majors, man. He's not struggling for cash. That's for sure.
no, but if Chick-fil-A or whoever it is like, "Hey, we'll give you another extra $750,000 to put this on your shirt," you're gonna say yes.
I'm aware.
And it doesn't
I just-
change the experience of watching it that much. It really
does
does.
for me. Just that part of it. But the basketball, football thing, you're right. We're not seeing the zoomed up, close up of these guys all the time to see that anyways. Okay. Other stuff going on in the news. Shams Charania putting out just an updated offseason piece last night of ESPN. And he mentions that the Duren Pistons standoff can likely last up until training camp. This isn't really big news. We kind of talked about this. Training camp doesn't start till the last week of September. So, and then obviously they have to come to an agreement by October 1st or else he's just not on a team straight up. Or he would have to take the qualifying offer. So 2 months from now, we could be waiting until there is a solve to this Jalen Duren Pistons situation. That sucks.
I honestly
We'll be in
have
the midst
zero-
of football.
That would be crazy. I honestly have zero prediction as to how this plays out at this point. I have.
He's going to be
stayed-
back on the Pistons. I mean, that's my prediction.
But is it going to be on the qualifying or is it going to be on?
I would still just be appalled if he took the qualifying offer. It'd be an unreal decision to make.
It'd be an unprecedented decision for sure.
You're just choosing to lose out on money, and a substantial amount of it.
When you have a possibility of getting hurt and all that stuff.
Either way, he's losing money. Like he just is. A deal where he could be making $30 million this year. He's going to choose to make $9 instead.
I would imagine he ends up back on the Pistons, but this has gone so off the wall, haywire that I'm
Once
just
again,
so sick of it.
Jalen Duren's agent. Who's the bigger idiot, him or Scott Harris? It's Duren's agent. The answer is Duren's agent.
It's got to be Duren's agent.
Now, maybe on Tuesday I'll have a different answer, but for now, it's Duren's agent. Other stuff going on in the news. Hao-Yu Lee extended his hit streak to 12 yesterday. It's been mainly negative Tiger stuff today. We'll throw in a positive thing there. Shout out to Hao-Yu Lee. He's been a very fun piece for the Tigers. And you know what? Scott Harris will give you a round of applause as well because the deal to acquire Hao-Yu Lee is like one of his biggest dubs as the Tigers president so far.
Lorenzen
Michael
deal, right?
Lorenzen for Hao-Yu Lee, straight up.
It's a good deal. Got to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah. Shout out to him.
Oh, I got more news for you.
Okay.
Per MLB Network Radio from AJ Hinch, Javi Baez will be activated from the injured list today. Javi Baez is back.
Hey, let's go.
I went to go look at his numbers because I was excited because I saw the report. So he was.
They're not great.
No, they're pretty bad.
Yeah, but they're like.
Oh, that's my boy right there. That's Javier Bay.
Yeah, that's Javier Baez.
They're like better than James Outman and better than Matt Vierling. And I saw someone say this when we were discussing Javi Baez. Maybe this was on one of our Facebook posts. And I really do agree with it. The return of Javi does just bring something to the team. It does. Like
spark.
The presence of Javi, it just does add something that these losers that are playing center field for the Tigers right now don't. So, yeah. Similar to, I think, if Max Clark joined the team, too. I think that would bring a spark as well. But that's big-time news. Javi Baez coming back. He must have convinced AJ Hinch after meeting his office yesterday because he said that wasn't going to happen, and then it just did. So
Must have been a nasty ankle sprain, man. Really nasty.
So what is the corresponding move going to be, though? Because
hopefully James
Eduardo
Outman's
Valencia,
gone.
I think it's probably Outman DFA'd. Or, no, actually, it's probably just Ben Malgiri is down to AAA. I forgot he's still on the team.
Yeah.
So that's probably the move. This morning, ESPN just did drop 5 more trades ESPN experts would make. 2 of them are Tarek Skubal deals. Skubal to the Brewers is one of them, and then Skubal to the Tampa Bay Rays is the other one. It was just more so sneaky under-the-radar teams that could get involved. The fact that those teams are thrown out, I think, is a good thing for Tigers in general because it means there's more teams than maybe we thought interested in trading for Skubal, which essentially could up his price if there's more competition for him. Other stuff going on in the news. Riley Green, your boy, this will be the last Tigers thing I do. You're always adamant they can't trade him. I agree with you, but with runners in scoring position this year, Riley Green, 6 for 39. That's a 154 batting average.
I know.
Can't trade him, though. I'm with you. Football news.
I have no defense for it. Like, I'm a big Riley Green guy. I see the numbers.
That's why he's not
I don't
a star.
have a defense for it.
That's why he's not a superstar. Other news, though, football news, let's move to. CBS Sports is adding Brian Kelly and Doug Peterson as college football analysts for 2026. Doug Peterson will serve as a color commentator for games on CBS Sports Network, and Brian Kelly will do select games and be a part of the analyst booth for pre- and post-game situations. Brian Kelly?
I mean, I despise Brian Kelly, and I think Doug Peterson's kind of a loser, but these are good additions to like a TV
it sounds
crew
like you're
for
very
sure.
fond of these guys, yeah.
Brian Kelly is like the
Brian
perfect...
Kelly who killed a guy.
And he did the thing when he spun around on the LSU thing.
Yeah, and he changed his accent to try to convince people he's from the South.
Yeah.
And he made Matt LaFleur and Robert Saleh shovel snow at the party at CMU.
That's a thing.
Yeah, that was when they were
tell that story.
When they were GAs. This is like a story on the internet. Yeah, like when they were GAs at CMU, they had like some big party for like all the staff, like a football party, Christmas or something like that. And he made Saleh and LaFleur either like go park people's cars or shovel snow the whole time. They were like on the football staff. And he just like made them do a bunch of like work during the game. Yeah.
He sucks. Both those guys who went on to have way better careers than him.
100%. But shout out to Brian Kelly. You're going to get to see him on CBS Sports this year. Is he gonna be good on TV? What's his accent gonna be? Is he gonna switch it for who's playing in the game?
I think he'll be good on TV because he'll do anything the producers tell him to do. Like, oh, you need someone to have a like Kendrick Perkins dumb take. Oh, I'll do it. Fine with me. Him and Russell Wilson
yeah.
have very similar.
I can't wait for Russ. I think Russ is going to be good. Like I think he's going to be very good TV.
I do too.
But Brian Kelly, if it's LSU Ole Miss, is he going to like do the Southern accent, and then if it's Michigan versus Minnesota, he switches it to back to his
Midwestern accent? Yeah. Where's he originally from?
Not the South. Yeah, like I think he's from the Midwest, or he's definitely not from Southern United States.
Oh, no, he's from. Oh, wait, no, that's the wrong Brian Kelly.
We'll do one more thing here in the news. Jamal Adams, former Lion Jamal Adams, by the way, got to keep that in mind. 3-time Pro Bowler.
Massachusetts.
Yeah. So he doesn't even have the East Coast accent either. He is joining the Minnesota Vikings. That was just ruled official about 10 minutes ago, but it was announced last night he was going to sign with them. Jamal Adams, yeah, back in the NFC North.
Yeah,
Pretty lit.
I had completely forgotten that Jamal Adams was on the Detroit Lions at one point. That is mind-blowing.
Now a linebacker, yeah. I actually do have one more thing in the news. Make it 2. Jacoby Brissett is back with the Cardinals. Got $15.5 million. And didn't you mention this yesterday in the press conference? He was just like, yeah, I literally don't care what the people think.
Yeah.
Like I was getting paid. Shout out to Jacoby Brissett for holding out and getting paid as like mostly a backup in his NFL career. Now he's making $15.5 million guaranteed this year. The last thing I do want to add, though, we're going to the UFC.
You've had like 4 last things.
Yeah, I know. Because I thought that was the last thing, but I'm just looking at my list. Like, no, I actually have more to talk about. This is the for real last thing, though. We're going to the UFC. Conor McGregor, he wants to fight Max Holloway for real. 2027, he says, I'm calling for a last dance fight versus Max Holloway in 2027.
I'm good.
Odds that this happens.
10%. I'm good.
I think Dana White's probably good, too.
I don't think you can put him as a headliner.
I don't think he wants to. He didn't even want to do it this time. And he probably regrets doing it at all.
Yeah. I mean, he got all of our money.
Yeah, but I don't think that's really... I mean, obviously he cares about that, but...
I'm sure you know who really wasn't happy about that, I bet? Paramount Plus.
Max Holloway probably wasn't that happy about it.
No.
I'm not fighting that guy if I'm Max Holloway.
There's no point. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. Hey, the seasons change 3-4 times a year. Right now, we're in the midst of summer.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That happens every year?
Yeah. And Maple Hill Nursery, no matter what time of the year it is, they're hard at work for you. Right now, they're doing mowing services, spring and fall cleanup when the season starts to change. In the winter, they'll do snow plowing. Get your lawn looking its best year-round when things warm up. Of course, like I said, mowing services. From winter to spring, fall, and summer, Maple Hill Nursery is your all-season lawn and landscape partner right here in Midland.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 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 Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh 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 yeah.
All right, welcome in. We've got three traditions to close out each and every show here on the Ben Bosscher Show. The first of which is our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Did I ever give you a lock of the day today?
No, I was just realizing that. Yeah, you have to come up with something on the fly. You're
Well,
too busy talking to Kirby Joseph, man.
Well, I came up with it. I just never knew if I told you it. Like I have something.
Yeah. Oh,
and
okay.
then,
Yeah. No, I don't have it, so I'll throw it in.
Okay. I have Caitlin Clark to make 3 threes tonight. Plus 106. Look, man. I haven't had much luck in baseball as of late. So I'm switching over to the WNBA, and when in doubt, I'm just going to go bet on Caitlin Clark. There's been a lot of animosity regarding Caitlin Clark as of late, but you know what? She's put up some pretty monstrous performances. A couple weeks ago, she played Seattle, had that 45-10 outburst. That was one of the best performances in league history. So I think she bounces back and has another good game against Seattle tonight, Seattle Storm. On the road, I think Caitlin Clark hits 3 threes and continues her hot streak to try to convince other people who don't think so that she's one of the best players in the league. I, for one, do think she is one of the best players in the league. Maybe not the best, but she's one of them. She's averaging like 10 assists a game. It's pretty good. So I'll go with Caitlin Clark to hit 3 threes tonight. Your thoughts?
What, has she been hitting threes?
Yeah. That's kind of what she does.
Yeah.
She be hitting threes.
Like at a pretty high rate?
Like 2.5, 3 a game, yeah.
Let me look at her game log. I don't know if I believe it.
Okay. Sorry.
Caitlin Clark's game log.
She's like a 20-10 type of player. It's not like she's like putting up these mass explosion of points, but she's consistently getting double-digit points and like 9 assists a night. She
hit 5 threes in the All-Star game. Oh, so this is the first game back from the All-Star game too.
Correct.
5 threes, 2 threes, 6 threes, then a stretch of 1. Man, she was cold for a while. She's got hot again though. Yeah, maybe the All-Star break. Oh, but she's a game time decision tonight.
Oh man.
Lock of the day yesterday. I decided to be nice to Ben. By the way, yeah, I'll tail it. Why not? I decided to be nice to Ben. Gleyber Torres 2+ hits plus runs plus RBI, and he wasn't in the lineup. But then he came in for a pinch hit. Feels a little bit messed up because he didn't know the lineup. So I decided to just cancel it.
Thanks, dude.
Nothing happened. So this is like the first pick of the week, essentially.
Well, hopefully Caitlin Clark can get us some plus money.
Actually, I decided I'm going to fade it, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I switched my mind. I'm going to fade it.
You switched your mind.
Yeah.
Well, I switched my lock of the day. No, just kidding. Yeah, that's our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Next tradition we have is our game of the day.
Game of the day.
So, we could go baseball. However, we also could go Caitlin Clark first game back, since we also are going to have some money on that. Taking a look at the starting pitching matchups tonight and just the matchups across the league. I mean, Dodgers and Seattle isn't nothing, but I'm for sure not going to watch that because it's at 10-10. Got Houston and Los Angeles. No, that one sucks too.
Is there any pitchers that like could be getting traded that are pitching tonight? Could be like last. No, not really. Reed Detmers of LA is like the only one, and he's a real big maybe. Yeah, no, there's like none.
No, I'm gonna go to the W. I'll take the Indiana Fever versus the Seattle Storm. I think I might dabble in that tonight because by then the Tigers will probably be losing and I'll be sick and tired of watching them by 9 o'clock.
Yeah, but it's Troy Melton on the mound. They don't lose with Melton.
That's true.
8-2 in his starts this year.
That's true. So I'll watch until Melton gets taken out, and then I'll get mad and probably end up watching something else. But here's the thing, man. Orioles fans today, right? We are Orioles fans today. Unfortunately.
After Melton comes out, I'm Orioles fan. I'm not rooting for them to light up Troy Melton, that's for sure.
No. Nothing like that at all. All right, last thing. Oh, that's our game of the day.
Game of the day.
I got 2 words for you. Steve Nash and Chris Paul. Must-see TV.
By the way, did you see some of this Kyle Shanahan stuff?
Yeah.
He like almost lost an eye. He's got a major concussion. Like, can you run?
And it happened like a couple weeks ago, too. It's not even like recent.
Broken nose, broken hand, broken ribs, severe concussion, 40 stitches on his face. Can you coach when you're severely concussed?
No way. right?
Especially like running a training camp. Like luckily for Kyle Shanahan, and I'm glad that everyone like ended up being okay. Luckily for Kyle Shanahan, he's been there, done that, right? This isn't like his first rodeo running a training camp, but I have a really hard time thinking any coach, let alone a new coach, which he's not, could like organize a training camp and be an efficient, like, oh, we have a month to get our offense ready. Again, luckily he's done this a few times, but I just don't think you could be coaching if you have a major concussion. You're not supposed to be looking at lights.
Yeah.
And this could take weeks to like.
I would
really
assume
get
this
back.
is going to be a long recovery process for Shanahan. Hopefully that goes well.
This is new territory. Like I don't think I can remember a coach injury like this. We had Chris Finch breaking his leg, but that doesn't change your mind, impact your mind. It's a little scary.
It is.
Anyway, last thing we have, predicting what Colin Cowherd is going to open with. So what did we rule yesterday?
I think I'm being double nice to you, I guess. I think you get a point. I've already put it on the scoreboard, 67-66. It was J-Mac's show. He technically led with like Steph Curry and the Warriors missing out on LeBron, but it was like a Steph Curry lead. But Ben was like all mad that, oh, I'm going to get a point anyways. Oh, I'll pick the Odyssey. He's going to talk about the Odyssey. Blah.
It's the first
and
thing he
then
talked
J-Mac
about.
entered the show and he goes, hey, it's me and Rachel Nichols. Rachel, did you see the Odyssey? Have you seen the Odyssey yet? And they talked about it for like 20 seconds. I'm like, there's no way that he just did that. And so just from the like sheer like disbelief, you get a point for it. The true lead obviously wasn't the Odyssey, but like we'll bend the rules a little bit for that.
Thank you.
67-66. I'm assuming it's no Colin this whole week if he's not there yesterday. Your turn to go first.
I would love to tie this thing up here. Yeah, I think the Shanahan stuff has some real possibility
Today
to
it does, though?
Did something major happen yesterday that I'm forgetting about?
No, but I like this news was this weekend. Like it's not like it happened last night.
But now we're getting like more updates about how bad it was.
Sure.
I'll go with that. I'll go with the Kyle Shanahan stuff. I don't really have anything else.
We got an update on Baker Mayfield's contract. Can I do Tampa Bay Bucks?
Sure.
Vita Vea and then Baker. Just like a Bucks lead. It's probably not good, but sure, I'll go with that.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Okay.
I'm good with that. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. That's going to do it for us today. We'll be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. Like and subscribe on YouTube so you don't forget when we go live at 9 a.m. We appreciate you guys. Follow Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. We're there. See you later.
The Ben Bosscher